4 versus 3. So bomb gets planted. Goonjar does take care of him. Nice snipe out of Swifty. There it is. He had a great game too. He catches Fellow as well. Fellow went for the sneak defuse.
Oh!
Wait, did he get him?
I think, yeah, he did. He took him to half health. He got a hit marker there on Vicinto as well. Vicinto's like, nah.
I'm out.
I'll see you guys later. I am out of here.
I'm headed to the showers.
He literally just sprinted out of there. We just got an update from our production team. 3-0. 3-0'd is 100 Thieves. So they got smoked.
By midnight.
And that is just not the start you want. So that's what Llama God, Jet Li, Brack, Brazilian, and Envoy. I don't know if all 5 of those players combined have the accolades of one player from 100 Thieves.
No, they don't. So some upsets already.
That's wild.
Team Space League goes down. They get 3-0'd by overtime. We might have another upset right here, as Mind Freak now have a 3-1 lead. But yeah, 100 Thieves, I mean, who knows what's going on over there? But it's not good. And starting off with a loss is not a good start for them.
Well, especially when you talked about bringing Vicento in, a 2-3-5 guy, to get smoked in 2-5. 6-1 game 2. We're well on our way there, it looks like. We'll see if
I think they brought him in for the teamwork aspect.
Oh, no, I know. But, like, you hope that's where they start to maybe specialize a little bit. You would think. But, no, not by any means putting it all Vicento. No.
Can he get this first blood? Shock's trying to find that bomb planter. Exotic able to stay alive, but Luca's up top. What is he at now? He's at 10-1, 50 off streaks. Can he find another kill? Would be so big. We saw the impact streaks had in game 2. Nice little shot there. He is not missing. 11-1. Ooh, maybe a little overambitious right there on the Goonjar. He had the ICR, but a 2 versus 3.
He was feeling himself. That's a heat check. That's a heat check.
Swifty, too. That's a heat check as well. I mean, he had a couple of snipes, but you definitely want the pistol out. It was a 4 versus 2, now a 2v2.
And is this one of those rounds you look at? We talked about the come-from-behind rounds that really is what ended up hurting EG. Does it happen to Mind Freak here? You start feeling yourself a bit. Do you throw? Whoa, yikes, it was close. It was close, but no turn and burn there from Goonjar as Beastin able to finish the kill. He will get picked up, and now it's going to be a 1v1. 30 seconds on the clock. Shox versus Vicento. He sees his leg. Vicento makes the play and gets the round victory. 2v4 clutch for EG. Maybe a little payback there from the game 2 search.
And again, it was the over challenge by Luca, the over challenge by Swifty changes everything.
Now you got the streaks on Luca at least, so that's one bright spot.
Small moral victory.
Well, think about it if you think back to the game 2. Remember, they lost that round loss they got was to get the streaks on Swifty, I believe, at the time.
But Arsenal's a much different map than Gridlock.
What do you mean? You're not going to get a 6-piece with your Hellstorm?
If he does, that'd be impressive. Might be the best thing I see all weekend.
Yeah, I'd have to hit the overpass.
There's a giant overpass.
Yeah.
Over
the Hellstorm breaks it. It smashes everyone. I don't know.
But again, Luca already has a Tempest. I mean, what else do you want from this guy right now? He's just going to spot the push at the A side, and they're going to play a 5 versus 5 retake. As the bomb goes down, Swifty almost gets caught, but he's in a very good corner now. And EG pushing from their side.
Everyone, right? You got no presence.
Nice cluster. Mid. That cluster, when he gets a couple of kills, going to back EG down. And now we're just wasting time. The Tempest is out. He's able to connect with a couple. But Royalty's there for 2. Tempest still alive. What else can he find? Now a 2 versus 2.
Oh, and he got his teammate. He hit his teammate. And now he's going to get pushed to the chain.
Oh, my gosh.
But they're still on. What is... He's going to defuse it because the last teammate, he's on the ground. I thought it was going to chain to the other.
No, he kept his distance.
Yep. I thought he was close enough that it might
What a
chain.
swing round right there. The Tempest is used. It was 3-1. You talk about that 4v2 clutch now. You got to look back at it. And a couple of these rounds now, it's almost like EG in map number 2.
And that's just, we start focusing on the Tempest. And, right then, it was Royalty that found 2, right?
Man, if he doesn't shoulder into him, I mean,
that's a round win.
Yeah.
If that's not a team kill or a team knock, that is a round win. Ooh. It looks like just felt like all the bad juju, the bad luck was on the side of EG. It feels like maybe Mind Freak's feeling it. All right, so TAC 5 is going to come out now from the Crash player in Vicento.
Now, this is exactly what we saw out of Exotic, right? So he's just spotting players, and then Beastin's going to get out. So now you'll have another 5v5 retake. Do you potentially call in the streak? There is that opening over the bomb site. A couple of them. Yep, and there we go. Luca's going to call that in. Are they going to get out alive? All 5 are alive.
Huge. And now you've got 200 HP.
But at least they know where they all are, right? So they find that first blood, but Fellow responds with one of his own.
Tempest comes into play, but Luka and Beaston are able to find kills. That's going to be a 4v2 advantage. They just, what in the world just happened? You get the bomb planted, you survive the streak, you have a 5v5 post-bomb plan with about 30 seconds on the clock with 200 HP on all your players. They only lost 1. The opening trade was it.
So the lightning strike doesn't find anything, but what it does do is it forces all of them back into a corner. They were all 5 in that little hut, right? Like in Mindfreak.
But if you just look at the numbers as that goes off, you're like, oh, this is looking very good for EG.
But that's a huge round for Mindfreak.
Yeah.
It has to have been quite unfortunate for them. Luka again finds a couple of kills. I think he's at 13, I think, already. Maybe more.
He's having himself a game.
Probably already halfway to his Tempest again, because he got the bomb defuse.
Wow, just some crazy rounds. The 2v4, now that just beautiful 5v5 retake that you saw from Mindfreak.
Oh, he's at 14.
14 kills from Luka. The new Mindfreak phenom, just making plays in search. He's number 6 on the minimap. You'll want to just keep eyes on with him throughout the course of these rounds, as he's been finding kills in every single round, it feels like.
Yeah, EG pushed up middle. Swifty now in a tough spot and had to try to back up to his teammates. Knows Goonjar could be up here. Wins the gunfight, though.
Big one-on-one.
That was very ambitious by Goonjar. You can see the flank is there, but Luka able to find number 15. As he pushes on up towards that B site, bomb now going down. 4 versus 3.
This is only round 8. Like, we've got potential for a just historic game out of Luka. Well, he just won another one-on-one. He actually got the kill. I thought he was about to drop, so he's at 16-3. Shocks finds the final 2 in another round for Mindfreak.
You saw that Annihilator was popped too. Or sorry, Shocks gets it, so he has the Annihilator as well.
I kind of want this to go to round 11 now, just to see if Luka can break 20.
Yeah,
wait, we always talk about the most. It's 20, right?
Well, yeah, 4v4, right?
Oh, I guess that's true.
That's a little bit different. There's an extra guy.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
Still impressive.
Yeah. Oh, no, it definitely is.
Yeah, no, but you can't really compare records, though.
No.
That type of record, at least, right? But let's see. There's just Wob, when you look at the rest of his team, they're like 5, 2, 2.
I mean,
8,
besides
16.
him, I mean, even EG, like. Shocks, though. Spots a couple players time in. Again, you feel if you're Shocks, you have the game in your hands. Like, you have the Annihilator. You can just win this round outright with a couple of nice shots. Beaston, once again, just playing for information. Knows they're at the A site. Bomb starting to be planted. And it goes down. So how will they retake it? Yep, I love that. Just pop the attack 5 boost. Here we go.
This is for the upset. Can Mindfreak come in here and beat EG? Fight it with the first blood. Trades back and forth. Royalty doing what he can. The grab slam not going to connect with anything, but they're still able to find the kills. Everybody cleared out. The fuse is in. And Mindfreak, that is it. An impressive win, not only for the fact that they're sort of a dark horse team coming in against EG, a top 8 squad from Vegas, but also the fashion in which they did it. The fact they go up 2-0, and then they get pushed to the brink going into game 5.
Yeah, Shocks is like, Luka, thank you. Thank you. I'll carry you now since you just carried me.
Luka, what a performance.
But this is what I was talking about, right? Like, if you're Shocks and Fighter, through all the stuff you've been through, to be able to say you have a new talent where I could look at this guy and be confident in a game number 5 where this guy's going to drop, you know, double digits in a search and destroy. They didn't have that before. No. It was on them. The pressure was on them to step up.
Shocks. Like, I mean, just thinking back to former pro leagues, like, if someone was dropping big numbers like a Surge or something, it was Shocks, like, all the time. Even as good as, like, Fida and Dens would be, Shocks was the guy that did it. For him, yeah, it's got to feel real good to just be able to look at him and be like, God damn, thank you so much.
It's just confidence, because then that lets you focus on yourself. Like, hey, man, do your thing. Feels good.
Yeah, it's got to feel very, very good, and ultimately the big thing to get that victory on the board. So you got to think Mindfreak, you know, I'm just tossing numbers around, but let's say if they were, you know, they had a 20% chance to maybe come out top 2, that has skyrocketed now. They've got a very good opportunity to come out top 2 and maybe avoid that, you know, bracket play, really, that 3 through 5 spot. With a win like that, that is just huge, man.
Yeah, and for EG, I mean, a couple of these guys, Royalty, Exotic, Goonjar, those 3, they've been outside the pro league for a few years now. Like, they want to get back to that, and that is not the way you want to start off this qualifier.
No.
Crescento, Fellow, they've been there. They've been in these pro leagues. They've had all this experience at playoffs. Those other 3 have not. They have to step up right now. Not a great start for them, but remember, they have a lot of matches left. Still, what, five others to deal with?
It's not your usual 4-team pools or 5-team pools. Like, there is a lot of Call of Duty to be played. They're going to be, I know there's been a bunch of upsets kind of already across the board. Just in this, like, second game window we had, it sounds like we had 3. We had the EG loss, the 100 Thieves loss, the Spacely loss. I mean, there have been a bunch of upsets coming in. Unbelievable, but we do have none other than Fida on stage. Let's get it to him with the instant reaction.
Thanks, guys. What a series. I did want to ask, you know, you've got a new player on the squad. How is Beeston fitting in with the team?
Yeah, Beeston's very talented individually, so we didn't get much time to prac with him, but he's got the ability to go off, which is what we thought we needed in the team, so he's a good player.
That's great to hear. So during that series, Maven said something along the lines of Mindfreak are not a team to take seriously. So I want to hear what you guys were thinking headed into a series like this versus Evil Geniuses.
Well, I think Maven needs a reality check because we're here to play, but yeah, look, I know we haven't had the best performances the last few years, but I think we've always had the potential, so it's just that consistency that we've got to find.
And speaking of that consistency, you started off the series hot, dropped a few maps 3 and 4 though. How did you bring it back around?
We know we're a great S&D team, so, you know, we're not expected to win every hard point. So going into map 5, we're just like, all right, reset. This is our preferred game mode, so we're pretty confident still going into that.
Sounds like a great mindset. Well, thank you so much for the interview. This has been your PlayStation Instant Reaction. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back after this quick break.
The Call of Duty World League is brought to you by Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, the official beverage of the CWL. Scuff Gaming, the official controller of the CWL. And TCL, America's fastest growing TV brand.
Day one of the Pro League qualifier is not disappointing. We just saw Mindfreak take down Evil Geniuses on that alpha stream, and later on, 100 Thieves losing out to Midnight as well. Your analyst desk is back. I'm your host, Katie Bedford, joined by Nameless, Study, and Pac-Man. Nameless, how you doing with that EG loss?
I'm mind blown by all these losses. Like Heretics won, we got EG just losing to Mindfreak. Mindfreak looks great, and 100T just lost. Like, where do we begin? There's upset city. This is crazy. And this is what happens at a qualifier, right? Like, teams just choke. Some teams choke under pressure, but it's early. It's early.
I want to say that Mindfreak played so much better than we all thought they would.
Yeah,
Right.
they did.
Luca, that's like upcoming superstar alert right there. He was like, at one point, he's 14-3.
Yeah.
Absolutely putting his team on his back. Game 5. What more could you ask for? I don't think that loss from EG was that big of a deal. They still showed that they're here to play. They won 250-50 the map before. Like, they're here to play. They just lost to a guy that put up a huge performance Game 5.
Just win an S&D, right?
Right.
You win an S&D, you win the series. I think EG will be fine. I still have them in the top 12 for this event. But the good news is for Mindfreak fans back at home, that's going to put them in a fantastic spot because EG was one of the top teams in their group. So being able to take them out right away, you're sort of one of the teams to beat in your group, and that's great for Mindfreak.
Study, what was Mindfreak doing so well, in your opinion, aside from slaying well, that allowed them to take over that 3-2 win on EG?
In the beginning, they went down 100-0.
Right.
I thought it was honestly done at that point, but somehow, some way, they were able to bring it back. I guess all their teamwork was working. The specialist uses had to be on point. They won a lot of key gunfights, especially that one back statue on the 4th hill. It was just, everything started clicking towards the middle of the map for them.
They're vastly improved from what we saw in Vegas. Like, in Vegas, it was like Luca was playing well, but they were legitimately horrible in Vegas.
Well, I mean, I think it's just like beasting for Buzzo, right? Like,
was Buzzo the problem?
I mean, we've been saying it for a while. Like, Buzzo is he's a good teammate. He just didn't really have that individual talent, and this is a game where that's going to matter more. As opposed to, last year in World War II, a little bit slower. And, Beaston, it's proven to be a good addition to this roster. They're playing really good, and they take out EG, a team that was very solid. Top 8 at the last event. All-around solid team.
Luca with 19-3.
9.
That might be that's probably like a top 3 performance in Circle Show ever. Like, I remember Krim dropped like 20-something at an event.
Yeah.
Like 19.
But that was 4v4.
And that was
they were talking. Clint and Joe were like touching on it a little bit, but that's still, regardless, like an insane performance.
That's a ridiculous performance. It's the best one we've seen so far in this game. 19.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Ridiculous.
Clearly, Mindfreak just wanted to tell Clint to settle down there.
Yeah, apparently Clint said, Mindfreak's not a team you have to worry about.
But like, if you look
What's
at
Clint
this
talking
group,
about?
You look at this pool, right, and it's like Mindfreak at the top now, and it's, what would you predict? Red Reserve and Evil Geniuses top 2, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a UYU in there, but you wouldn't really put Mindfreak in the top 2, and them being in that position is going to give them such a good cushion.
Absolutely. And we're going to bring up now this pool, of course, where we just saw 100 Thieves get 3-0'd by Midnight. That was rough. Not what you want to see.
We have to say it now that we can officially, officially, 100 Thieves stinks.
They suck.
They suck.
They
100
suck.
Thieves sucks.
There's
like,
nothing else to
no
do.
other way around it. We look at the players on the team, and we give them the benefit of the doubt. Octane's nasty. Kenny's nasty. Barrel's nasty. They stink as a unit.
You can't sugarcoat it
It's
anymore.
embarrassing at this point. Like, there's no way around it. They're probably past the point of talking it through. Like, these guys, they've talked it out to death at this point. How many meetings could they have? They just don't work as a unit.
And the thing
they
is,
just do not work as a unit.
They're getting fried online, and then they come here and they lose their first series 3-0. And I didn't get to catch the first map. I heard they were down 0-1. I immediately started to watch it. Game 2, they got smoked. It wasn't close. It was 5-0, but it ended 6-1. And then game 3, they got destroyed. Like, they had full streaks, or the Brazilian and crew had full streaks and full specialists going into like the second round. They were just dominating them. It wasn't close. It was a 3-0 victory. 100T is officially, I can say it, they're not good. They're bad. No one
Apparently, Envoy had a huge game 1, and he was just running double stock. This guy's going off on 100 Thieves with no quick draw, no
That
grip.
first round of control, when I saw the kill count 10-3 and they somehow choked that, I knew it was over at that point. There was no way you come back from that.
9v3. They got 9v3 in control. How is that possible? What? You're 100 Thieves. You're some of the best players in the
And you're
world.
capturing. You're not even defending.
Trade.
It's frustrating to say the
Like,
least.
how hard is that?
It's hard to...
These guys, they have so many championships on this team. They won, what, like 6 combined last season? 7? Can't even count them.
Wait, so
and they're not trading.
They look under practice.
I want to know, of course, in Hot Mic at the start of the day, Sasha was talking about how the thing that they needed to work on was teamwork, and clearly they weren't really working on it, or it just wasn't clicking? Or
Teamwork's a very broad subject. Like, that's, like,
right.
That's everything, right? So they need to work on playing the game better as a unit.
I guess their practice got to be bad still.
Well, yeah, I mean, their practice, obviously, I mean, you know that they stopped streaming the scrim, stuff like that. It's something tough to deal with. Like, we've all been on those teams. Like, even from personal experience, when you're on a team that's broken like that and you're not getting along with your teammates, it's really hard to just like suppress that and then go to the event and just pick up and win. But even as a team like 100 Thieves, you should be able to beat that roster and just, you know, you shouldn't lose them regardless.
When you're on a bad team, every little thing becomes so much harder. Like, I was on a bad team in Black Ops 3. We just, at a certain point, we couldn't make anything work. Like, it just felt like every little thing was just so difficult. Like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? We're just not on the same page, and after a while, it just falls apart. For this 100 Thieves roster, it's happening at record speeds. I don't ever think I've seen a team fall apart that quickly, but clearly to get 3-0'd by a team like that, it's...
Yeah, there's something going wrong. Not just something, there's a lot of things going on.
Absolutely. We're going to swing now over to Delta Stream, where we do have UYU versus Imperial. Tied up here in map 5, both 2-2.
Oh, this one's over.
4-0.
Denza's 8-1. Well, we just gave him the caster curse. We switched over and he got us to death.
I would have picked this UIU team to like be one of those top level teams for sure.
They've always been one of those underdog teams, especially Spoofs and Mayhem.
They always choke though, man. They always get to a good spot and they choke.
I'm just happy to see Reedy win a match. This guy.
That's a low bar.
You know, right before we tuned into the
stream,
Moose and Denza were both, they didn't even have a death yet. So he just picked up a streak. And Moose was in a 1v2 as well right now. So if he clutches this, I mean, like, any little momentum you could have got from this round if you're UIU is...
I think Moose
this is next level.
Been nasty. Like last couple seasons.
Just called in that lightning.
Oh, that was actually next time.
They don't stand a chance in this one.
Yeah, it's 5-0.
Look at them on the other side. Wow, they look depressed.
And losing a game 5 in your first match is
spoof in the middle. He looks miserable right now.
Mind blowing what's going on right now.
I feel like there's something missing, like a clutch factor from the UYU players, because last season they were a very good team. Most pros would consider them the top amateur team, and they were all they had to do is beat Tainted Minds to qualify for league, and they choked.
Yeah,
like there's like something missing, like they don't have it. I think whatever that
either got it or you don't, man.
Yeah.
This is a crucial match too, because I believe this is a group with EG.
Wait, this is last map.
Yeah, this is a group with EG and Mindfreak. So like, you want to like kind of extend that and get that win and get as many more wins as EG as you can, because obviously they're one of the stronger teams in the group.
A 6-0? You think they're going to end up 6-0 right here?
It's tough, man. Go game 5 and just get smoked.
Wow, you got it was full at that point. Annihilator's coming out. Bang. He's got full streaks.
Yeah, that's right.
It's 6-0.
Wait, why is he about to jump up and challenge an Annihilator? Excuse me? What?
Wait, Gorgo can't be serious.
He has hit one bullet, sir.
I'm a little mind-blown by that one, not going to lie.
Well, Skies, we'll see you later.
I mean, I guess they had streaks outside and a drone. He figured, got to take out the Annihilator a bit. Hopefully he misses in this space.
Such a crawl space. Hopefully he doesn't hit this shot, dude.
And there we have it, of course, for that Delta stream. But coming up next on Alpha, we do have Team Sween versus Reciprocity. What do you think?
That's a good match.
That's a good match.
That has top of the pool implications in this match for sure. Because if Sween plays like they played in Vegas, like they're truly nasty. They're truly nasty. I hope they can keep that up.
I like Sween, dude. Nolson, dominant.
Big Nolson guy. I'm a big Nolson guy.
Dylan,
so
dominant. Dylan, dominant.
Nolson was so good at the last event. But then, like, on the other side of things, you got Reciprocity, Tommy and the boys, and they've been good online. Like, they've been playing really good. And they've been in a team house trying to build up that chemistry. I think this is a really good match.
Team Sween's also coming off of a 1-0 win.
Oh, they are.
3-0
map count.
Nice. They're feeling
versus
real
Team
good.
Divine,
Nice and
though.
warmed.
Yeah, versus Team Divine. It is good to get that first match.
That's a big win, though. It's another team from their region,
You
right?
can't just say just Team Divine.
What? Yeah.
He's lost to Midnight.
Oh, yeah. I mean, anything can happen now, of course.
Nah, 100 Thieves is not good, so you got to stop. You got to put them out of that category from now on.
Study, we're expecting this to be fairly close.
Yeah, I'm expecting this to be a really, really good game between Dylan and the other guy. It's going to be good.
Which will be coming up next, of course, here at the Pro League qualifier on Alpha. We will see Team Reciprocity versus Team Sween. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Call of Duty World League Pro League Qualifier. Up next on the main stage, Team Sween versus Team Reciprocity. It's going to be a good one, Battle of Europe, and Benson joined by Chance for this one. It's worth mentioning, this is a series we've actually already seen once on LAN. We saw it at Vegas, and it was a pretty decisive victory for Team Sween.
The hottest of 3-0s, Ben. It wasn't even close for any of them. It was like 250-135, 6-2 in the S&D, and then a 3-1 control. So Sween, it was when they kind of came out of nowhere and were like, we are a dominant team. We are going to make the Pro League, and we're going for championships later on. Like, that's how good of a tournament they had.
Now, my question to you is, do you think we're going to see a similar result here, or is it going to be slightly closer? I know Study on the Desk said he expected this to be a good one.
That's fair. I think that's fair. I think the reciprocity we saw, at the very least, was nowhere near as good as they're capable of being. So even if Sween stays as good as they are, or even gets even better from where they were, I think Reciprocity is going to do a job to catch up at the very least.
I think it's important to note as well, from the maps that we saw in Vegas, it was what, a Frequency, Hacienda, Frequency first 3 maps. It was a 3-0. You will see none of those maps in this best of 5, so it's going to be completely fresh between these two teams. And I guess we get our answers, right? Was it maybe a poor performance in Vegas from Reciprocity, from what we expected? Poor in kind of quotation marks. So was Sween, are they really the real deal? Well, we're going to find out.
Right. This is a series where I don't expect it to have like heavy implications on who makes the Pro League. I expect both of these teams to get in. This is a fun one to watch, to learn exactly how good they are, what kind of improvements did they make, and how good are they going to be going forward. Because again, if Sween can continue to do as well as they have, their only losses they had at Vegas were to Splice, E United, and LG, the 2, 3, 4 teams. Other than that, they've been beating everybody, so small improvements there, they're incredible. And Reciprocity, obviously, you know, top 12, it's respectable, but they have their work cut out for them.
Well, early on, it's Team Sween with the advantage 26-8. And I think one of the key players to keep your eyes for, or eyes kind of on for Team Sween is going to be Nelson. And I think it was an interesting stat that you brought up before with Nelson, just in terms of kills and hardpoint. He put on a big performance in Vegas.
It was on Frequency, so not necessarily map specific, but he has like the second highest kill performance that we've seen so far. He got 46.
That's impressive.
Formal has the record right now at 48, but it's actually the same thing for Search and Destroy. Again, Nelson, he put up a 15-kill game. There's only been a handful of those that kind of touched that up, so he's definitely a player to keep your eye on early. Of course, those so far sitting at 2 and 3, but expect him to pick things up as time goes on.
There's definitely 30 seconds left on this hill before we rotate all the way over towards Fountain, and it is Sween with the advantage still, 40-29, but it's all about where the players are spawning, and you see Zed make the smart decision. Hold up a minute. I recognize my teammates not going to be spawning with me. I have to push back, try and hold this spawn. He's going to be pushed by a couple of players. First is going to be Dylan. That's going to be to the right-hand side. Zed managed to just dip, stay alive, throws out the cluster. Nice play. Will he stay alive, though? Not going to happen. So for now, spawn's still very much up for contention. There's Dylan right at the back. We'll win another gunfight. It's Shawnee that goes down, and I mean, Dylan looking to just keep shutting down Reciprocity one by one.
He does eventually get taken down, though, and you can see as soon as Wuskins gets that kill, 2 players instantly spawn up for Reciprocity, so they get the scrap time at old. They're set up for new, but of course, even with the back spawns, they're actually going to lose them. Players right now for Sween push far enough up, they're able to break through. Quicker's going to jump off the map because he is praying for a good spawn, and we'll see where he comes in. It should work out for them. Yep. Yeah, there you go. Good to go. Makes the right play, jumps off the map. That's some next level stuff from teams that are the best in the game.
Yeah, it's something which many people look at as such a small, intricate detail, but look at what it does. Rather than having to traverse across the map, instead, spawns back Fountain, and he's right there, ready to help his teammate defend the hill, and with still 20 seconds left, still on this hill, Team Sween could pull themselves the biggest lead we've seen so far here in Mountain.
Force rotation, though, it is going to be pretty much a near full body stack for Reciprocity in, but you can see Sween, they're going to be attacking from all angles. They're going to have at least 3 players going on the flank, potentially full flank. Of course, you got Brain working on streaks as well, and he knows that those spawns are going to be coming in from behind him, so a lot to keep up with. The pinch is going on. Streaks are going to be coming forward. He's going to be hunting down for Tommy. Might have a couple kills in front of him. Tommy right in front of him, able to get the lightning, looking for more, and gets the kill, finds the Hellstorm. Now just 75 away from that sniper's nest.
Beautiful from him. Unfortunately, the trophy will be destroyed by the other trophy, but with 40 seconds left, he can pick up the hill time, and honestly, if he stays in here the whole time, he will earn his 3rd and final streak. Instead, could just push through, try and find more. Crash is going to be earned, and that is full streaks for Brain. We said at the beginning, keep your eye on Nelson. Well, Brain's doing the hard carrying this one, that's for sure. 105 to 62. Still 20 seconds left, though. Big time here for Reciprocity. They're able to get it.
Absolutely, but they're going to need to pretty much get these final 15 seconds. It's going to be a dogfight inside the hill that Team Sween's probably going to come out on top of. Of course, as I say that, the two come through, but first set of rotations are going to be in, and it's going to be Sween with about a 30-point lead on top of the full streaks that they have. Not a good look right now for Reciprocity. They need to pick it up, especially Dens, sitting right now at 4-10.
Waiting to see exactly how this first hill, the second rotation, is going to start to develop. You'll see streaks invested here by Brain as he pushes out, finds himself a double with the Lightning. Unfortunately for him, though, he will be shut down by Shawnee. Hardpoint contested once again as Shawnee finds him second in quick succession, looking for more. Drops from the outside, nothing but trades coming through. As it stands, Team Sween still in the hill.
Still in the hill and still trying to retain those good spawns for next as well. You can see players already going to rotate to make sure they lock down the back. So Reciprocity, they pretty much need to get this break. They're investing a lot to make it happen. You see the Annihilator from Wuskins is going to come out, but only able to find one so far, and that's going to be it. I think that's the Specialist burn for only one kill. They don't even break through to get the scrap time, so they got to win the rotation, but Sween, they have bodies here over here. Dens, though, able to win the first gunfight. There's a player trapped along. It's going to be quicker. Dens not able to take him down. The trades come in. But either way, it does look like a pretty solid situation for Sween. They got the back spawn.
Dylan with the Annihilator as well can just buy his teammates a little bit of time. Finds the second, looking for the third, connects. One more over towards his right-hand side. Not going to clean it up. It's Tommy with a double. Zed, he has to invest a War Machine as well, so that's going to be 2 for him. 156 to 87. Reciprocity now, they do have at least a little bit of control. You can see Tommy pushing through barrels. Number 10 on that minimap. He's highlighted there. Wants to just make sure that when the hill does rotate, it's going to be Reciprocity controlling the spawns at Fountain.
You can actually hear the importance of trophies, saving lives from clusters coming in and concussions, even stopping the War Machine, but the rotation, Sween is thinking about that. With 35 seconds on the clock, Nolson is going for that rotation. He's able to get it, but still, 35 seconds is a lot of time, and Reciprocity is looking to potentially get these final 15 seconds unless Sween comes in and contests. So these gunfights are important, but the rotation is there. Nolson has a lot to deal with on the other side of the map.
And here's the problem. Nolson rotated by himself, right? So now the situation he finds himself in is a 1 versus 4. Good luck, have fun. It's not going to work out. Zed will find that pick. So for Reciprocity, they get the scrap time, and they also will control the spawns, but for how long? Because Brain, well, we wanted to see when he was going to use the Hellstorm. Well, there's 2. Tommy also will fall as well. Dens has done well just to stay up, but the pressure's coming. You expect him to surely fall as the stun grenade comes through. Nice break from Team Sween, and when you get streaks, chance, you can rotate a little later than you want.
Especially on that hill, there's simply nothing you can do. Now the Tempest with the chain, he's able to pick up 2 with it, and yes, he gets cut down, but it's just players now essentially single challenging the hill. Sween, it was maybe iffy for a moment of Reciprocity trying to work in the comeback, and well, they stomped that one down very quickly.
Quick glance at the stats, and it's Dens that needs to step up for Reciprocity. Currently is 6 and 19. Okay, that's 4. Yep, that's quadra kill right there from Quicker. Hey, that's what you want to see from a Graph Slam, right? We saw a botch one earlier on in our first cast of the day. That a much better one for sure, but Dens at 7 and 21, triple negative, really struggling here for Reciprocity. And I mean, it's almost like deja vu from what we saw in Vegas. I think the final score in Vegas for a frequency hardpoint was 250-138. It's looking like this, honestly, score could finish pretty close to that.
I mean, it's one thing if you're Reciprocity and you're keeping it close, but as soon as you're down by this much, you're getting sniped by a score streak, and then you get quad Graph Slam. Honestly, you just feel bad. Like, you're bringing up bad memories. You remember what happened in Vegas. Just not a lot going right. Still, though, we've seen crazier comebacks. Reciprocity is inside of the hill.
I was going to say, it is Seaside.
And it is Seaside. We've seen it before.
We most definitely have. As I call out Dens for needing to step up, he does just that. Connects with a couple of temper shots. Teammates charge straight forward. Tommy with 3. 20 seconds still to go. Reciprocity need all of this time, and then they somehow need to win the fight on rotation, and that's what you're going to see. Zed first to the party for Reciprocity. However, the problem, Team Sween, they've used their crash. They have the increased health, and this makes that rotation even more difficult, but Zed's done a wonderful job so far. Finds the first, but still so many players from Sween around, and you can't give up this time for free. You need to challenge as quickly as you can.
And blinking, you'll miss it. Dylan, he's able to get 3 on the way. He went on a solo pinch, and he picked up 2 to make it happen. He gave him the early break, but you think for a moment Reciprocity might be able to get back in, but you got a lot to deal with.
Dens has, was it a streak? Yeah, has to call it in. Doesn't have time to hold on to it. It's a lightning strike, and it does nothing but team kill. However, he will earn tier 2 and tier 3 streak. He's forced to call in the drone squad almost instantly. Now just a Hellstorm to play with as the hardpoint still contested. 28 seconds left. Sween dangerously close to closing out and chooses to invest the Hellstorm missile. How many is it going to connect with? 2. There's 3. Everyone from Sween drops, apart from 1 in its brain. There's 2. Can he find the 3rd? No, he can't. Zed will keep Reciprocity in it for now.
This is doable. They got the drone spot as well. They got Dens on the rotation over towards next, and it looks like for the moment, Reciprocity is holding strong. So, you know, you put together a full 60 to get one more rotation. You can make this happen, but a long way to go. You got Tommy with the grab spike. He knows one past him, just gets the kill with the saw. Nearly chokes him, but he takes him down, gets the information. You got 3 flooding in from the front. Focus on that.
All right, big picture. What have you got here for Reciprocity to try and break? Tommy, he has his grab slam. Is he going to be forced to use it now? There's going to be a couple players coming through. That's a double for him. And all of a sudden, Reciprocity find himself mounting a surreal comeback. Weeman, he will fall, and if your team Sween, you tuck your tail between your legs and you say, boys, we've got to rotate to Fountain. We cannot throw this game away.
At the same time, though, it's only 9 seconds. You get one break at any of the next hills, you do win. It looks like one player, Weeman, is going to hold the back spawns, but they have spawned behind this hill as well, but they're chalking it. They're just saying, all right, guys, we need to go next.
They're spawning out.
So Reciprocity,
they've spawned out.
If they get one break, Ben, on this next hill, they can win the game.
Nelson and Dylan have spawned in Narnia. They have to just run across the map. They can't jump off the map either because the new hill hasn't popped, and it's Wuskin wins a crucial gunfight against Weeman. Reciprocity, if they're able to find the final player, it's Brain, who's playing so sneaky. All of a sudden, what was almost a huge mountain to climb, they will be able to make this comeback. Zed finds one. It's Nelson. Brain is still waiting for the opportune time. The pinch coming through. Brain does win the gunfight up top, but now the players challenging over towards the hill. Team Reciprocity. I can't believe I'm saying this. I thought this game was done and dusted. They now go into the lead. War Machine is out from Zed. There's 2. There's 3. There's a lightning strike earned. I just can't make it up. You can't make it up, folks. It's Seaside Hardpoint and another unbelievable comeback. This time, it's Reciprocity versus Sween. Wow, I applaud that. I'm actually clapping. That was beautiful.
From down 220 to 115, more than a 100-point deficit, dealing with full streaks, dealing with specialists. But Ben, at the end of the day, it's Seaside. And again, you just put together 2, maybe 3 hills, and all of a sudden that 100-point lead gone. A gravity spike from them was perfect. The Tempest use was fine. The War Machine at the end was clutch. It was a rough start, but it was a great finish.
I would like to start a petition that every time we cast a series chance, we have a Seaside Hardpoint involved.
I'm good, man. Like, you're just 50-50. We need some breaks at some point.
Wow. What a game 1 to start this series. As we mentioned, these two teams, they fought it out pretty hard in Vegas. Team Sween comfortably, I think it's fair to say, walked away with it 3-0. It looked very much like map 1 was going to be done and dusted in Sween's favor, but all of a sudden, the bounce back from Reciprocity. I called out Den's almost triple negative. He had a nice little play with a Tempest. It got his team streaks. From there, the game spiraled further. More streaks were earned, more specialists were earned, and Reciprocity, I can't believe I'm saying it, won map 1.
It's revisionist history, like bringing this up now, but if you remember on the analyst desk, they did mention that Sween, they've already played today. I think their first series, they just won 3-0 instantly. Well, this is Reciprocity's first game. They started slow, but as soon as the ball got rolling, then they came to play. I think you had Dens at one point was like 9-21, and still they end up making the comeback to win. So pretty solid start. It's not about how you start, does it?
I will say, after I called him out, he had that nice play with the Tempest. Yes. And that was what kind of brought his team back into it. So credit to Dens, really stepping up with that specialist, earns himself the streaks like I mentioned. And from there, the game spirals out of control. And once again, another crazy Seaside Hardpoint comeback. And that's how we're starting this series. I'm excited to see where else we go.
Of course, going into Search and Destroy last time, you want to point out it was a 6-2 win for Sween, but the Hardpoint was a blowout as well. So who knows what we're going to see. Now you have the opportunity, even from Vegas, do research on your opponents. Go back, look at every single map that they played, write down their S&D strategies, get a basic fundamental idea of what their opening breaks are going to be, and that information is incredibly valuable. So just going into map number 2, you have to imagine it's going to be closer than it was the first time around.
And I think it's important to note, you hit the nail on the head at the very beginning. You expect both of these two teams to get to Pro League, right? That's the realistic expectation. This isn't one where you think, oh, you know, losers in serious trouble. But, you know, for Reciprocity, you know, you start your campaign off 1-0. On the flip side for Sweden, 2-0. That puts you one step closer. If there was ever a situation where maybe there was a tie, you think about that, maybe second place, if that was the case, head-to-head could come into play. A lot of different variables, so it makes this game so important.
And another thing to keep in mind as well is Reciprocity, living in Las Vegas. They got all of that. They're scrimming against the top teams in the world, playing in the pro downs. So you expect them to get better. But Sweden on the opposite side of things is, how many teams are even left in Europe nowadays just to even scrim against?
Yeah, not a lot of chance, I'll be honest.
There's definitely talent there. Don't get me wrong, but it's not going to be nearly as diverse as what you're going to see over on this side of the pond. So, again, I'm expecting them to at least be as good as they were, if not even better. But again, you'd have to imagine Reciprocity, just by the nature of them getting top 12, are going to be able to make more incremental improvement.
And that was the big point I think that you brought up, right? How did Reciprocity perform at Vegas? Was it a letdown, or was it realistically where they should have placed? How much have they improved since then as well? And kind of the same thing with Sweden. Did they overachieve at Vegas? Well, what is their realistic kind of expectation? And, you know, they started that map and you're thinking, all right, yep, we're kind of where we thought we were going to be. But Reciprocity, a beautiful comeback from them. They take game number 1, so when we look forward in terms of the rest of the series, definitely going to be interesting. But, you know, we put a kind of big limelight there on Nolson. Didn't really have the craziest of games.
Well, in fairness as well, like the respawn, it's Nolson, but as well as Dylan. Dylan is like the hyper-consistent, is always going to be +5, +6. Like, that was what he showed at Vegas. And Nolson is just that guy. When he has a good game, he has an amazing game, just spectacular. But, like, my eyes for the S&D, I'm staring at Dylan for that side of things the entire time. The man had a 1.33 KD at Vegas, which is pretty good. I think it was good enough for 8th overall. So,
okay,
you know,
top 10.
Maybe not top 5 player for S&D in the game, but pretty damn good nonetheless. So that's who I'm staring at for the side of Sweden.
Impressive stats, that's for sure. Here's a look at how our series is going to play out once again. Seaside Hardpoint 250-241 in favor of Reciprocity, despite being down so heavily. They make the comeback. Then we head over to Frequency Search and Destroy. Seaside Control Game 3. Arsenal Hardpoint, Arsenal Search and Destroy. And again, I touched on it at the beginning. We're not seeing any maps repeated from the 3-0 sweep we saw at Vegas when these two teams matched up. So completely new maps, and you can say good vetoing there, I guess, from Reciprocity. And maybe, you know, for Team Sweden, they thought, let's try something a little new, a little different.
See if anything different's going to come out. You talk about different strategies you can have on a map like Frequency. You can run 3-4 SOGs at one point if you're going to the specifics bomb site. If you're going a certain direction, you can run double ICR. Actually, no, you really could run double ICR if you really wanted to. There's a lot of different pocket strats on a map like this that you could pull out just because of how opposite the bomb sites are. You have one where it's super long lines of sight everywhere, and then you have another over on the side of you in the hallways where it's as tight as could possibly be. So just something to keep in the back of your mind, of course.
I was just about to say, you can even see a sniper rifle down low. That's exactly what you get for your first blood. Wuskin, welcome to map 2. Frequency goes down for first blood. Instantly, though, there was a trade. Nolson did full, so 4 versus 4.
Dylan has the sniper out, but he's also got 2 players coming up behind him, and I don't think the time is going to work out perfectly, but now those 2 players are moving very quickly off the flank, and now all of a sudden for Sweden, you got 3 players trapped up inside of you, and Zed, he's just going to hunt him down. He's going to have all of them in front, able to find one and stay as alive. Tommy able to pick up a second. They know both players are outside. You know Dylan has that sniper rifle, so he's going to get dropped. Nothing cooking on that side of the map, despite the first blood.
I like that from Reciprocity. They recognize they have players trapped. What do? They just constrict them in towards you, push, find the picks, and everyone there ready to trade if necessary. But this is how first blood came. In case you blinked and you missed it, Dylan, nice shot. And it's funny because it seems like we haven't really seen too many flashy sniper plays so far this year. Admittedly, you know, we've only had 1 event, but still. Any come to mind?
No, I can remember a ton of hit markers, though.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember a lot of hit markers.
So that's why it's kind of surprising still to see players kind of pull it out. But, hey, man, if you aim higher, I guess you get more success. That's for sure.
Well, now that bomb, complete control over at the B site. You got 2 players underground, but they're just not in a great spot. Zed's able to pick up one. Dylan retaining the sniper, but again, as you pointed out, there's certain places at the start of rounds where you know where to look and you can get kills, but after that, it is a lot more difficult to make something happen, as well as time not being on your side. The man disadvantage, the shot does not connect. Nolson, though, is able to find one. They're going for the surge. Weeman is pinching for mid-map, but Zed is going for the pinch round. He's able to pick up one. All of a sudden, 2v2. Weeman's over by bomb. But right now, it's going to be Reciprocity. They're just on either side.
20 seconds. Meman wants to hunt down Shawnee. Shawnee should survive. Quicker's also found Zed. Now all of a sudden, 1 versus 1. Shawnee versus Quicker, 13 seconds left. Is there enough time? Quicker wins the fight. Is he going to be able to slide across? No, he's not going to get there. Reciprocity will go 2-0 up.
And again, you just talk about time not being on their side, especially with that cluster nade, even just to slow them down an extra, what, 2-3 seconds? Obviously, at the end of the round, it makes the difference. So little things going right that round for Reciprocity. Getting that bomb down, getting the clearance, and being just patient enough.
And something we talk about so often as well. When you make a comeback like they did in map number 1, you're going to have so much confidence heading into the next map. And that's kind of what you're seeing here. 2-0 lead early in the Search and Destroy game 2. Pressure on Team Sween. Of course, in terms of their first series of the day, it was a 3-0. So they're sitting comfortably top of the group as it stands. But a lot of Call of Duty to be played.
And just to bring it back and touch on your point about the sniper, I think you're right. Outside of literally just the opening breaks of where you know specific night shots are going to happen, over towards this B bomb site. You have on Arsenal just that the stairs line of sight over towards window. Specific places, but after that, it's not too easy. But there is a train of players that are running over towards B. They're going to get stopped, though. The concussion comes in. I think that connected on Dylan, who's going to get taken down. Now you got Wuskins in mid-map. He knows at least 2, 3 are going to be back there pushing. Tommy has information, gets the kill, gets out with his life. He's going to tag Brain up well. He's got the saw, gets an up-close gunfight. He's going to win that 9 out of 10 times.
Tommy!
And he's going to let it ride and get the next 2. Tommy, if that was not an ace, that was at least 4.
Oh, they just kept coming to him. And it was just a great reaction round, really, there from Reciprocity.
That was an ace. Yeah, that was an ace.
Are you 1? I mean, surely you're going to see it all of the best play. There's 2.
He comes back at the 3rd, and the next 2 players line up. That was an ace, right?
No, I think that was 4. I think that was 4. I think either way, Tommy, really good round from him. A fantastic round indeed. But in terms of the way Reciprocity reacted that round, it was great, right? You see the information called, hold on a minute, guys, I'm being pushed 4 players down low. Instantly, Wuskin hits top middle. There's so much pressure being applied there to Team Sween. They're forced to funnel in towards Tommy, who's just sat there with the perfect weaponry for the job.
And got to make the mental note, Tommy now 200 off streaks. Of course, though, Dylan, he knows the pressure's going to be coming. Misses the first shot, trying to go for the wide peak. Gets the hit marker, and the information is just fly at the sniper. Zed's going to take him down. Complete bomb site control, and again, sniping. It's not easy in this game.
It's definitely not. And Tommy gets the plant, which puts him even closer towards those streets. Wuskin with 1. It's almost like this is a bit of payback here for Reciprocity after what Sween did to them in Vegas. It looks comfortable, cool, calm, collected play from Reciprocity. 5-0 up now with all the tools, all of the extra things that they need to close this one out in an emphatic style.
And the strategy right now is just on point. Like 2 rounds ago, it was Wuskins being up top mid. He knows there's no pressure, so he can just stare at it. Calls out the cross. Those players are forced to sprint into Tommy. That round, they know the sniper's in the back. They send 3 players to flood, and it's double thumbs up when you take down that first sniper. They get complete bomb control. You got a player sitting in the back watching the flank. They have all their bases covered.
Tommy just looks so happy in that picture.
And he's got streaks. You got to be smiling if you're getting streaks.
He's got streaks. He's got grab slam. Reciprocity 4-0 up here in game 2. I mean, it's cruise control. And like I said, now you have yourself a position in this search where everything has gone your way. You should be able to close this one out with ease. Tommy's going to call in the lightning strike. He's going to funnel players down low, and he's almost the exact same position he was in around prior. Grab slam. That's another. He picks down a teammate as well, but he just keeps on going. Tommy Slide gets the beat down as well on Quicker. And when he is in this form, Bryce has been calling him the game changer for so many years, and it's performances like this which has given him that nickname. Unbelievable stuff from him.
And he's making it look easy, honestly, as well.
That didn't look hard, did it?
No, not at all. Like the lightning strike gets called in. They're all flooding down middle. Whoever that first player was is challenging 2 players by himself. Like Tommy gets the kill, but if it wasn't him, it was the guy right next to him. It was easy kills. Then after that, you get the like just everything. Is everything that could go right in that situation did go right, and he executed it well. And if you look at the scoreboard, by the way, Sween, it's like they have like 3 kills combined. They all have 5 deaths.
Do we have any?
Again, throttled.
Oh,
1-5, 1-5, 1-5, 1-5, and Quicker's like, guys, please. Help.
God, come on.
Anything.
Come on, couple kills. All right, Sniper's Nest is in. Hellstorm is in. Quicker will fall unfortunately for him.
And he has more kills than his team combined, so you take that guy out, you're feeling pretty good.
Yeah, so pretty big first blood as Denz on bomb finds one. Zed makes it rain from above with the War Machine. Brain will fall. Tommy finds another. I can honestly say I don't think I've seen a dominating Search and Destroy performance all year. That's going to take it from me. That was a hell of a search.
Keep in mind, Luka did just get 19, but it took a long time to make that happen. He just got 12 kills in 6 rounds. If that goes to around 11, he's breaking records, man.
100% breaking records, but Reciprocity, they got 3-0 to Vegas by Sween, but this is a completely different series. It all started with an unbelievable comeback on Seaside Hardpoint. It gave them the momentum to 6-0 sweep in Game 2. We'll be back after this with Control.
Game Fuel. Level up the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pro League qualifier here in Columbus, Ohio. Reciprocity versus Team Sween on the main stage. And it's Reciprocity 2-0 up, but series probably shouldn't have looked that way if it wasn't for an unbelievable comeback in Seaside Hardpoint. And the momentum they got from that, they just blew Sween out of the water in the search, 6-0. We now head over to Game 3 Control, where, honestly, Chaz, I don't know what to expect anymore.
I mean, again, if you had asked me 20 minutes ago, I'd have been like, I think Sween is going to win, maybe 3-1, 3-2, because like Reciprocity, and now I'd be like, Reciprocity 3-0, Den's going to go double positive. Tommy, I think he was, what, 12-2? He's just going to go sextuple positive for this. I have no idea.
Just a lot of kills for Reciprocity. They're going to playing confident, and that's what you want to see if you're a Reciprocity fan out there. Control Seaside about to get underway. This will be a 3-0 sweep, which would be massive for Reciprocity. Again, you got to think, how many times do we see potential ties in pools in Call of Duty, and then, you know, map count, etc., head-to-head. Things can be so important. So in terms of the scale of this game, it's almost the number 1, number 2 seed, right? You expect both teams to have a ton of success. The question, who will come out number 1? Or maybe there could be some bigger upsets along the line. We will wait and see, but it's an early push from Reciprocity over towards the A site, and Waskin is there to back up, but going to be contested, and so many kills coming through already. 25 to 23, the life count.
And it looks like for the moment they might be thinking about going for the flood at A. At least Tommy's going for the kills. He gets dropped, but they do have bodies over a B. So overall, fairly decent opening break, but they don't get a tick over at A. They don't have a tick at B yet, so they need to focus on this B point now. They don't have any more time to waste, but they do have bodies in the hill. They're going to be able to get at least 1 tick, and honestly, probably 2, maybe even 3, unless someone can go big, and it's going to be Wingman to do it, but he does get shot in the back. So a pretty solid situation, but of course, the kills as well, heftily now in Rex favor.
20 to 14. 6-kill lead as Waskin get tagged up from behind. Challenge before he even started to heal as the pressure once again being applied up towards A. You've got Dens watching the cross, and at this point, if you're Reciprocity, you can simply play team deathmatch. All you need to do is trade. Almost double the amount of lives Sween have available. And now it is double as Dens flies in. There's 1. Not able to find anything else. Almost 2 ticks now over towards B, which Shawnee is present in, and that's the split push that they went for. Of course, there a look at Shawnee. Waiting for anything whatsoever, hops back in and says, all right, well, I guess I may as well complete the cap.
And I think right now what we're seeing is Control evolving from what we had in Vegas. They had opportunities to stack up B and just get the point, and instead they flooded and pushed and spawn trapped Team Sween to get the kills because they knew they had B at a certain point as an assurance. Now they get all those kills, and they're all wrapping back to their base. They're having 4 people potentially going through the barrels or the middle of the map. Let's look for players. Wingman, though, he's going to be able to get 1 free kill, shooting a player in the back. He's looking for more as well, but either way, Reciprocity, 13 kills to 5. Yeah. Their strategy for this first round has been on point.
I love your point there, just about the kind of evolution of Control. We said at Vegas, how is this game going to be played in a month's time, 2 months' time, at the end of the year, how different it's going to be. And there is a prime example. Reciprocity recognized we have all of the map control. Rather than giving up map control and giving up kind of the base control, they were inside Team Sween's base for what felt like 30 seconds. Kill them. Give yourself a bigger cushion in terms of kills. They had Shorty playing almost kind of like a safety role. He's saying, guys, I'm here at B. It's got 2 ticks. I'm ready to jump in it just in case time gets a little low.
Yeah, that's actually really cool. I mean, so like the evolution would be, well, standard thing, you just go flood B, you get that, then you get to A. The next step is, all right, let's try an opening break at A. As soon as that gets stopped, then we go back to B.
Yep.
And then that time, they had the opportunity to go back to B and cap it. And again, just to harp on it, because it's cool to see, they go on spawn trap, keep the guy in the back for an assurance. So I appreciate this so far.
Yeah.
It's only 1 round deep. We'll see if Sween can pull out anything in the bag, but even the first match we casted today, Ben, when we were watching Heretics play against Lightning Pandas, we saw a ton of pushes over towards the A site off the rip on offense. So I don't know if Sween's going to pull anything creative out of the bag, but it certainly looks like it might just be that way. Or actually, no, they all break over and more standard stuff. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's true. Looks like it's going to be a 5-man push over towards B, but Shawnee finds himself a double. Zed there to support Shawnee with 3. Yeah, that's not the best start, really, from Team Sween. All of them died, so they're already down 5 kills, make that 6 kills. Finally, Weeman gets their first kill of the round, but look at Tommy's positioning. He's ready and waiting to spawn trap. He's going to recognize Quicker's up there, but unfortunately not going to win that gunfight.
I mean, it was their whole team in their base at some point. Finally, they're able to get someone over towards B, but even Dens is just being a nuisance. The concussion's going to slow players down, and now they're going to have to be worried about the flank as the rest of Reciprocity is going to be pushing in the front. But Brain, he's been waiting for it this entire time. But while Brain's distracted on the back line, Reciprocity is able to break through and get it towards B to defend.
And that's so smart from Dens. He instantly recognizes, hold on, 2 players died. I can leave this fight now. Brain's in no man's land. You don't have to worry about that. Let me put pressure on the players coming off spawn. Unfortunately, that time it doesn't work out. He does fall, but right idea. Lovely concept again from Reciprocity.
And at the very least, Rec is just burning time off the clock. So now they don't have the opportunity to push into A right now for Sween. They have to stick with this B point because there's only 39 seconds left on the game clock, but they're close to getting 2 ticks. If they get the second tick, they're in a decent spot, but Sween, Quicker's able to pick up 2. Dylan trying to get 1. Dens, though, inside the hill, being a nuisance, has at least 1 teammate, Waskins, in support. is eventually going to get taken down. Wuskin's now by himself is able to get 2. And again, 16 kills right now to 11.
Weeman just got obliterated. Zed, nice shots. He's going to shut down Dylan. Keep your eye on the clock as Tommy gets himself a double. Reciprocity defended valiantly. 16-8 the score lead. And when Zed's shooting like that, quite frankly, you don't stand a chance. More players funneling down. 6 lives to 16. Zed can let him pass because there's still more players on the stairs. Sween dropping like dominoes. Single file, 1 by 1. Reciprocity ready and waiting. Set up perfectly. I mean, Shawnee's 14-7. Wuskin 14-7 as well. A beautiful, beautiful round there from Reciprocity.
And I'm hearing battle cries coming out from those players after every kill, just screaming their heads off. And keep in mind, at the start of that game, it was almost a clean 5-man wipe for Reciprocity, and their entire team went and stood in their enemy's base to spawn kill. And they didn't like hold that forever, but that was just brutal for a moment.
Yep.
And now, of course, on this next round, if you're Sween, what is your opening break on defense even going to be? Are you worried about them pushing A off the break, and now do they go to B? Like, it's not standard.
Here's the problem. When you go 2-0 up in control, you've probably done it in enough time where you have specialists at hand. So it makes that third round a little prime example.
They have 4.
They have 4. So it makes that third round down 2-0 even more difficult. And is this going to be bait? I thought they were going to try and bait it out.
It did look like they were setting up for the bait. At
that would have been nasty. Because especially look at where Tommy is too. Tommy's just wrapped the entire map. He says, guys, I'll let all you guys with all your cool specialists, I'll let you guys put some pressure on the other side of the map. Meanwhile, I'm going to go for a wide old flank. You just have to wait. Be patient, boys. Here I come. Tommy with 1. Wuskin flies in with the Annihilator. Weeman's there as a line of defense, but they all fall. Reciprocity just showing you outside of the box ways of thinking here with control.
And dude, we'd have to ask him about that. I think they literally didn't want to get kills until Tommy was all the way around. They were just playing so that's insane if that's the case or if that's just how it panned out. But now, of course, they're inside the hill. They got War Machines coming out. They got the Grav Slam as just backup if they need it, which they don't because they're getting kills all over the damn map right now. They're in the point. They got 1 tick. They're going to get more. 2 players inside, and they're already rotating over towards next. Sween, they're chalking it, but they're down by 5 lives, and they still have so many specialists they have to deal with.
I'm saying that was 110% intentional. With the way that map looked and the way things panned out, I think it's all going Reciprocity's way. B capture point about to be done and dusted with a 22-18 kill lead. You got 1:44 to try and push, and once again, Reciprocity just slowing things down. What are they waiting for? So coy. Is it the Grav Slam to try and open things up? There's a grapple. Doesn't want to invest a slam there. Brain will find 1, but now all of a sudden the pressure just coming in towards Sween's spawn. As it stands, Reciprocity, they don't care about the point right now. It's all about just pick up those kills, use the streaks, find more kills, get complete spawn control, then put pressure inside the hill.
Now they're going for the spawn traps. Dens once again behind enemy lines. The stun, though, should be able to take him down, and Dylan eventually able to finish the job. So Sween trying to hold on, but the kills are not on their side, and that's how, well, they're going to have to win this if they can. Not down by a huge amount, but they still have to deal with the Grav Slam. They still have to deal with the Tempest if they decide to pull it out.
Beautiful read from Shawnee for the Sniper's Nest. The stun's going to come through, but damage done. Streaks earned. Kill lead still in full effect. 17-9. You hear the specialist raining in the background. It was Nolson. There's a Grav Slam. Tommy just hasn't slowed down. He's been just in such a high gear. His pace has been ridiculous throughout this control. 14-7, 14-6. Going to be contested. Weeman and Nolson spring into life. They keep it at just 1 tick. But the life lead is so drastic for Reciprocity that, honestly, Sween need a damn miracle. Is it going to come in the form of the Tempest? Of course, the Sniper's Nest is in the air. That's what you hear. 10-5. This would be a hell of a way to start a reverse sweep.
Man looking for everything again. They're all stacked up inside. They have to turtle as well. So Reciprocity, they can take their time. 30 seconds. You need 1 good break, 1 wipe of kills, and you're good. But
it's running out.
Really are pinched for everywhere. He's able to find 1 though in the back. They're going to be able to get 2. Brain, by the way, pulled out the Rampart. That's going to be to shoot down the Sniper's Nest. But 4v7, Ben. 15 seconds.
15 seconds, 1 final push. The Tempest was so clutch. Bear in mind, Crash has come through. Weeman is also close to streak. It's not going to have an effect this round, but it could be for future. Tommy will find Dylan. 3 players left, 2 players left. Time is of the essence, 7 seconds. Can we see 1 full clean wipe? No, we cannot. And Reciprocity gets sweet revenge against Team Sween from what we saw in Vegas. A dominating 3-0 performance. We had an epic comeback, a complete and utter search and destroy blowout, and some nice little trick strats in control there from Reciprocity. Chance, they look fantastic.
That's a statement game, Ben. They came out and said, we underperformed at Vegas. We were, what, 2-5 in S&D?
Yep.
Nah, we're going to beat Sween 6-0. Completely ran them over. You want to see next level of control? We got that. And then the cool comeback and the hard point as well. So it's only one series, but for these two teams, the two at the top of the division, whichever team wins that, it doesn't guarantee Pro League yet, but you have to imagine if Reciprocity is looking like that, they're going to come out first in their division, maybe second at worst. So I obviously expect them to be in the Pro League now.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Reciprocity looked absolutely fantastic in that series. And as we said, they get a little bit of revenge. Yes. Of course, it is a big rivalry matchup. Both teams, of course, European. But here's how the series panned out. The last two maps didn't really look very close on paper, did they? 6-0, 3-0. The search definitely wasn't control. I mean, to be honest with you, Team Sween were just outclassed in that, and then the crazy comeback, you kind of called it a little bit. You said, well, yeah, you know, Team Sween, they already have a series under the belt. They're 3-0. Reciprocity, this was their first series of the day. Maybe they did just start slow. And if that's what we have to look forward to every time we watch Reciprocity play, I pray they get into the Pro League, because that was unbelievable to watch.
And that's something that, like, other teams need to take notes. Like, that's actually one of the best things for your Optic Splice LG is they can sit back and watch all this and be like, that's a good idea. I like that. Let me make some marks on that one down. So really cool stuff we saw from Reciprocity, even just in that control. The opening break we saw in the round number 1 on offense, the flank from Tommy in round number 3. So fun stuff to watch, and, you know, you got to pull some tricks out of the bag to get the important wins. So, I don't know. I'm just excited to watch them going forward.
Yeah, that was absolutely fantastic to watch. And that's everything from myself and Chance. We can send it now to the PlayStation Instant Reaction with Dennis.
Thank you. You are in a very interesting position, being an APAC player, teaming with EU players living here in the United States. What has that experience been like for you?
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. The whole transition was actually pretty smooth. We're all waiting, like, what's going to go wrong? We got our visas, the team house is all set up, everything was perfect from Reciprocity, and now we just get to compete against the best in America. It's amazing.
I'm glad to hear that as a team, that transition went really smoothly. For you personally, how difficult was it to leave home and move to Vegas?
Well, we traveled a lot last year under Mindfreak with the Pro League and whatnot, so it wasn't too hard. I didn't have any commitments. I finished uni. I don't have a girlfriend, so the other boys did, so it was just easy for me to move over.
All right, well, I'm glad that went so well. The casters were mentioning that you guys really got your revenge on Sween since CWL Vegas. So since that event, what aspect of gameplay have you been mostly focusing on?
Hardpoint has been our main one. We switched a couple of roles, a bit of pacing issues at Vegas. We learned a lot also about our vetoes, because Vegas was the first one when everyone wasn't sure what their best map was or their worst map. And yeah, that's kind of what we did, role changes and vetoes and knowing our strengths and weaknesses.
Great, sounds like you know what you're doing. Thank you so much for the interview. This has been your PlayStation Instant Reaction. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Call of Duty World League is presented by PlayStation 4, the official platform of the CWL. Astro Gaming, the official headset and mix amp of the CWL. And Republic of Gamers, the official monitor of the CWL.
We are working our way through the first day of the Pro League qualifiers here in Columbus. Your analyst desk is back. I'm your host, Katie Bedford, joined by Nameless, Study, and Pac-Man. And we just saw Team Reciprocity 3-0 Team Sween Nameless pretty decisively.
Dominated them, right? Absolutely destroyed them. I thought it'd be a little bit closer of a game, to be honest. Sween, that team that I was talking about earlier, I was like, they look great at Vegas. I was hoping they'd be able to keep it up, but that happens from time to time in Call of Duty. A team comes out swinging, and then they don't improve as time goes on.
It's that first map, man. Like, Sween came out swinging. They were hot the first map. They had a big lead. They're
up by like 100.
Yeah, and then that Reciprocity comeback, I feel like that took like the wind out of their sails, you know? Game 2, they got annihilated. And then Game 3, I just think Reciprocity played a great game of Control. So
after such a crazy comeback like that, Reciprocity just rode the wave at that point. Everything after that was just clicking for them, and everything was...
That Search and Destroy was dominant. Like, we saw so many 3-pieces in that Search and Destroy. Tommy picked up like a crazy round with the SOG, and it was just well played by them, right? Like, they were just, look, he's 11-1 at this point, had a fantastic series overall. They all did. And, you know, that was just like quick business. If they're playing like that, Sween being one of the best teams here, you know, on paper looking at it, Reciprocity should be a lock.
I expected that to be a lot closer than what it actually was.
I expected Team Sweden to win. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like that would have been my pick going in.
Yeah, based on Vegas,
yeah. I just think that hard point that was just tough L to take. So a team like they obviously know these guys very well. You could tell by the reaction from the Reciprocity after the game was over.
That reaction was hilarious.
Their reaction was hilarious. So it's like just losing in that way to a team like that had to hurt.
I mean, if you're gonna lose like a series in your group, like this is the one you can be okay with losing to Reciprocity. It's like, okay, they're a really good team. They've been good online. Like, if you lose this one, it's not the end of the world. But, I mean, the way you lost, like, you want it to be a little bit closer. You just got steamrolled, dominated.
Let's take a look now at this series layout again, just highlighting how dominant Reciprocity was. 3-0s, 6-0s. I mean, the only one that he was that hard point that was even remotely close.
How many comebacks on Seaside have we seen so far?
Yeah, Seaside, there's something special about Seaside, man. Like, he gets down to that Fountain Hill.
It's a lockdown hill.
It's lockdown.
I mean, take a look at Tommy and those stats. I mean, he was so good this whole time. I feel like Team Sweden didn't stand a chance against that.
Look at that special stat. Oh my
the S&D?
God. Yeah, outslayed the entirety of the team by 5.
The reason why it was 24 and 24, remember, they went down 100, so he had to eventually start kicking back up. Ended even, ended up winning the map.
And the stats don't always tell the whole story. Like, he was only +1 in the control, but it was more about the plays that were being made on the map, right? If you watch the mini-map, you can see what he's doing. He's a special player, made special plays, and that's why it was 3-0. I guess it's impressive stuff.
All right, we're going to pull up Delta Stream now and check on what is going on over there here at this first day of the Pro League qualifiers with G2 and Tainted Minds. G2 up 1-0.
G2's a team that's been, ever since Vegas, they didn't have the best performance, right? And they made a roster change. They picked up Methods and Lacefield, and they look really good online.
Yeah, they look better.
Right. So I just think if they bring over that performance to this land, like, they're going to qualify if they play like they have online.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a pretty good roster. I think Methods brings a lot to this team. Same with Lace. If he can not get tilted and just be like a good teammate, I think this would be a good team for him. I think it's probably the one thing to worry about with this G2 team is lack of leadership. You kind of need somebody to step up and be a leader and kind of just keep this team composed. But I think when you were looking at the up-and-comers in Decimate and in Blast, you needed one of them to become a star, right? And I think it's really been Decimate. I think he's become a star thus far in this game. He's been really good. He's well respected by the pro community and, you know, regarded as the best player on this roster, and I think he's living true to that.
You know what you're gonna get out of like Cheen, right? Cheen's pretty stable. They need like that superstar, that guy that's gonna win them game 5s against the top teams.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, and you got Lacefield, who's a consistent sub player. He's been consistent over the last few years. He always does his thing. He doesn't really get bodied.
I think Lace is super talented.
Yeah.
Lace is super raw talented.
I think that, I mean, most of his problems obviously like has been his attitude.
Yeah.
But just in game, I don't think anyone ever has any.
He's gonna win gunfights.
He's
gonna win gunfights. I mean, and for me, I always think back to like that Black Ops 3 champs for Lace, where he had that crazy tournament, and then ever since then, like, he's been solid. He hasn't had the best of luck with placings and rosters, but he's always a great player to have.
That is it for Delta Stream. Again, a fight to the death over there as we work through this first day. We've seen so many upsets, so many shocking results, Study, that I think we're all sitting here like, what is going on?
I don't know. So far, day 1 is not going any way I planned it to.
Right.
And it's just a whole lot more talking than I thought I was going to have to do. I thought 100 Thieves would come in and dominate, but guess not. So now I got to talk
Yo, I
about
took some
them.
crazy pulls, bro. These are some, these are some insane matchups. Like what? Reciprocity just 3-0'd Sweden. Like I didn't predict that at all. I honestly thought Sweden was gonna win that, and it's just even before that match, all the matches we've seen thus far have been insane to me. And Heretics on your screen now, like they pick up that win over Lightning Pandas. Who would have thought they would have did that? Like it's just insane results thus far, and it's only day one.
Right, and for everyone who is watching, of course, right now, this is the Bravo stream, Heretics versus Giants. Heretics so far having a pretty decent day, beating Lightning Pandas earlier.
If they close this map out, they're gonna end up losing one map on the day. Like that's like
2-0.
That's a
one
good
map.
one map loss. That's a good first day right there for Heretics. We saw them in Vegas. These guys have all the natural talent. And if you ask Benson, he thinks it's the best control team in the world.
That's just pure delusion. But they are good at it, right?
Wait, 100 T is the best control team.
Feels bad.
They got 93, man. They did kind of set sort of a meta at Vegas and Control where they were doing the split push where most teams were like 5 committing to 1 point off the rip, like the easier one. And then Heretics, they were kind of split pushing. A lot of teams saw that and were like, you know what, that is the way to play it. But I wouldn't go as far as saying they're the best control team in the game. But they definitely do have some sort of strategy, and whether they're the best or not, they do it together, and that's what matters. They're looking good here.
Heretics is up 1-0 on the side, right? I feel like they're just going to close this out. They're actually dominant. Dominant.
I'm not going to sit here and gas them up just yet, but they do look good. Like, if you end today 2-0, that's some good, like, they're gassed for
Like,
the
look at
rest
the
of
players. They're
group.
cooling it right now.
Giants,
Well, I mean, that's got to be such
Giants is
a...
the other Spanish team, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is just them playing their brother team.
Absolutely.
Playing them.
How good must it feel for Heretics, though, to be able to start out having such a strong day, at least in terms of gassing themselves up, feeling great about it?
You couldn't ask for anything better than right. Like, you're gonna go back. They're gonna go back to their hotel. Just be all smiles. That's why are we going to eat, man?
Yeah,
like,
what are we doing tonight, boys?
That's the thing, though. It's like Heretics is probably so used to making a loser's bracket run, or coming out of open bracket and being in pool play, or being in pool play and just like starting off on a loss. It's got to feel so nice to start off with a big win like that and actually get that confidence and realize like, hey, we can beat some of these teams. Because Lightning Pandas, they got top 8. They're a good team. There's no doubt about it. And if you beat them, it's got to be some good confidence. I don't care who you are. And that's going to feel good for these guys to make them play better.
Right, and to be able to be here and say, I am here just like everyone else. I made this top 28, and I'm on a run to make that top 12 because totally.
Like Ann said earlier, like your goal, if you're one of these, like I would say the middling teams, underdog teams, which should be to make sure you secure like that top 5 spot in the group. But you start out 2-0 with a day like this. Now you're looking at your teammates like, we can get one of these guaranteed pro league spots. We're 2-0. Why not us? We're the closest people there to it. We beat Lightning Pandas. We have the edge. Like, why not?
Yeah, and beating a team like Lightning Pandas, it's like, okay, we want to start off by, we got to make sure we beat the teams like that are supposed to be top 200. We win one of those matches, puts us in a fantastic spot. So they're definitely gassed off that, and then they're playing a team that they should beat, and they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're cruising straight through this match, and everything is going well for them right now. We'll see if they're able to keep it up. It may be a little bit too soon to say whether or not they're good, very good, not or yet, but we'll see.
But speaking of Giants, I mean, we haven't talked about them a whole lot. Study, what do you think? Are there things that stick out to you that they can do to start improving right now to kind of look at these matches and say, here's what we can fix?
From the scoreboard at least, they're definitely getting outslayed. And also, they're also challenging a lot of individual gunfights, at least from the minimap, on my perspective. So if they just start getting together, playing the trades correctly, and the lives are still 9-9, so they're winning their 1v1s. Just hopefully they're able to, like that specialist right there was a really, really big specialist, probably going to secure Heretics around. Hopefully going into this next round, they're able to use a specialist, bring it back, and then eventually start the comeback.
I mean, well, at this point, right, like they have to get a point. Like they need to get B right now, or it's pretty much going to be game over. And it's 9-4 kill count. Like Heretics are just going to close this out, be up 2-0. They're going to be far closer to their specialist. This one's going to pretty much be a wrap. At this point, it comes down to getting kills. They're not getting enough kills, and they're making the game harder on themselves.
Right there, when the clock was running down, they actually decided to go with a split push themselves. Like they're on both sides. They probably should focus on one when the clock gets low like that. It just makes it so much harder to work the map. They don't have time to take a long route to get a flank around the backside of B. They all have to attack from the same side. Heretics able to close it out.
Again, That was on Bravo stream. Heretics there and Giants. Heretics up 2-0. But we're going to take a look now at Fort Worth, our next event. Very exciting. Join us for the 3 days of Call of Duty, March 15th to the 17th. It's right around the corner. It's only about a month and a half away. Spectator tickets are available right now at mlg.com/CWL Fort Worth. You're going to want to be there to join us for an amazing event. Don't miss it.
Absolutely. Dallas is going to be a super fun event. You're going to know who's all in the league at that point. We're going to have some more Call of Duty action to, base our opinions on who's the best is. Then we'll have another event with all our top 4 teams. It's going to be super fun.
It's going to be great. And of course, looking at this Wednesday schedule, it's so much more to come today. We've seen, I think, so much that's shocked us so far. 3-0s of major teams like 100 Thieves, Evil Geniuses being taken down. It's going to continue all of this madness here at the Pro League qualifier on the very first day. We will be right back with the Knights versus Mazer Gaming.
Play new content first on PS4.
Welcome back. We've had some very interesting results already so far this weekend. Let's keep it going, Joe. This has been incredibly exciting. Upsets galore. Not a lot of teams handling business that you expect to take it, but now it's going to be Mazer taking on Pittsburgh Knights. And I guess I want to talk a little bit about this matchup because it became, I guess, more interesting because of the results at the top of this pool. When you think about the fact that Team Spacely has already lost and what 100 Thieves has already lost, it's kind of opened it up. And I guess I think more for probably Pittsburgh Knights. I think they were a dark horse for people to maybe come out top 2. You got to feel good before you even play, right?
I thought you were going to say dark horse for the event to get out. No. Yeah, no, top 2 for sure. Obviously, Pittsburgh Knights, they've lost some pieces, right? They lost Lacefield. He went on the G2. But they replaced him with Saints, right? So I guess that sort of, goes with that. Then, they bring on Ricky as well through another roster change. So definitely a different roster than what we saw from Vegas. But absolutely, I mean, a ton of veterans. And one player that did stand out was Vegas. We had to talk about, it's got to be Parasite.
Yeah, and I talked to Parasite about this, and he basically said, like, listen, after those 2 losing, if we can just beat all the other teams, even if we lose to those top 2 teams, we'll still likely be okay. Like, we just have to win out against the people we're supposed to win against, and we'll be in a pretty good spot. So he was feeling really good about it. And then on the other side of it, obviously, I guess a little bit of drama around there needs to be a last-second team change with Mazer coming in. I'm not going to speak too much to the circumstances of it because I don't know what happened, but just so we can speak to the fact that it's got to be tough to come into this with a last-second replacement.
Oh, absolutely. But somewhere along the lines, this guy was on the team.
Yeah, I believe he got dropped.
He was on the roster.
And then now he's back.
I believe it's Vivid.
Yeah, Vivid.
I'm going to be honest. I don't know too much about this roster. I've heard a couple of these players. I think I've heard of Jay Destiny before, but besides that, these guys are a complete underdog.
Yeah, it's an amateur team that are going to try and make a run here and maybe make it out of this Pro League qualifier, but that's what's fun about this week. There's so many teams. There's 28 teams here, and you've got some guys that you as Call of Duty fans, heck, us as commentators, we've maybe never commentated before. Maybe you've never watched them play before. You're getting eyes on some new players. Maybe not new players, but players that haven't played maybe on a main stage like this that are trying to compete to get in. So it should be exciting. But yes, a lot more household names on Pittsburgh Knights, that's for sure. And, I was thinking about, man, I talked to Parasite a little bit. Like, he hasn't qualified into a pro league since the first year, the inaugural year of the CWL back in Black Ops 3.
Okay.
He did get on a team. I believe he was picked up in Season 2 of IW. But as far as him playing through and qualifying, we're only that far back. So he has basically been kind of like king of the amateurs over the past 2 to 3 years. I think this is a big moment for him to maybe get back, show what he's capable of.
I mean, not only him. Look at the rest of the roster. Like, Ricky and Saints have been there, but Panda and GodRx, how many times have we talked about, similar to that UIU team, right? Just always on the cusp of making a pro league. Always right there, but they fall short. Panda and GodRx, these two have been on the same roster with one another, this duo, for so long, like 2 to 3 years, I would guess, maybe even longer. But these guys have really came up together, but they have not made it into a pro league. So this is their opportunity.
Yeah, and I'm really just excited to see what this team is going to be capable of. Obviously, they've got Saints on the roster now, too, after some changes. We've talked a lot about the team changes throughout kind of since Vegas. There's been a whole lot of them. There's a trickle-down effect that happens there. But if Saints fits with this team, we know he can be a very strong Slayer, so it'll be exciting to see what they can do.
And I think they need firepower, honestly. I mean, as good as Parasite is, he needs some help, right? Like, I think you look at another guy in GodRx, Panda on your screen right here, not really like a crazy explosive player, more of like your gap filler, right? Known for his teamwork and his communication, but this guy, GodRx, I feel like he is next up, honestly. I think he's that guy where if he doesn't make it to the pro league through this qualifier, I think he's on a pro team.
And we'll see what Ricky can do. I mean, I'll be honest. I think over the past couple of months, I've read more about Ricky's capabilities in Blackout than I have in kind of multiplayer in the CWL. I mean, I'm always reading about how he's dominating, playing with Formal and whatever's going on. Like, they're a really good wager team, but I haven't read much about him dominating this particular game, so I'm excited to see what he's going to do.
It's rude to say, but have you heard him dominating in a long time?
It's Black Ops 2. It's really,
sure. Yeah. I mean, I guess you could argue that, but it's been a very long time. You know what you get out of Ricky. He's not a star player. He fits his roles. He's going to put up around a 1.0. He's a great communicator, and he's good in search and destroy. It's just, can he find a team that can find a good amount of success?
So how high did you have? I obviously was saying that I thought they were dark horses to get top 2, but you thought it was crazy because you obviously had them getting into the pro league. Then it sounded like, as far as Pittsburgh Knights, you feel good about them getting in?
They should, right? I think when you look at it, 5 through 16, right? Based on Vegas, they placed 13th through 16th. So you look at teams like UIU and Pittsburgh Knights; those are sort of the two to me that are on the cusp of it wouldn't surprise me if they did get upset. I don't know if I have them as a for sure in the pro.
Okay, all right. Well, let's see what they're capable of. Again, they have been gifted a bit, though, within this pool with the losses of Team Space and 100 Thieves. Both those guys got 3-0'd. We know how important just the team getting 3-0'd comes with the tiebreakers and stuff, too, if that comes into play. So let's see what they're able to do. They will get set up in the opening hard point, at least to pick up 11 or so seconds before Mazer retake control. But you and I just casted this, really, what was it, the Mindfreak series. They got beat by EG like 250 to 53. We saw kind of the good and the bad of this particular map for squads.
Absolutely. It really comes down to those base rotations, both blue and orange. Just, I mean, can you win the rotation? Can you break that setup? It's very similar to Seaside, where it's tough to break it from time to time, and the score can get out of control, like we saw with EG and Mindfreak. But Noobs, a heads-up play. No, there's 8 seconds left. A solid start for both of these teams, but here comes the first push for Pittsburgh Knights into this orange base, but Vicious able to find a couple of kills, maybe to hold off that push as Noobs finds a third.
So this is a good job for Mazer. You know, the opening seconds of the first hard point go to Pittsburgh Knights. They break in, they get that time, and they get the rotation to orange. Now, what can they do with this? The hold here and the rotation of blue is such a big moment throughout this particular map. They're just trying to lock down the back. There's one more player here for Pittsburgh Knights. That's going to be Ricky, who eventually will fall. They hold the front. You see spawning out at first is going to be Pittsburgh Knights. So the opening 30 seconds this hard point, looking good.
So now you had a couple of pushes towards the back. They're going to try and flood through the front. Why you do not want to flip spawns, because then you would be just rewarding Mazer Gaming to rotate to blue for free. You can already see arrows number 2. That's Parasite. They're already going to rotate on over. They're going to give this up. So a good first hold by Mazer Gaming. And what I said, you can see those arrows. Panda and Ricky spawn behind the base. So this is an opportunity for Mazer to win this rotation, but a good couple of kills by GodRx and
Great
Saints.
job just giving up the back and forcing that spawn. But to get a little bit of a split then as 2 players end up popping in the back for Mazer. So now they will try to make the play. It's going to be Rex inside. The only player really in position to make a play will ultimately get dropped. So we'll see what Pittsburgh Knights can now do with their early control, if they can sort of repeat what we just saw from the Mazer Gaming side.
Now, the big difference between Hills 2 and 3 is obviously that balcony is in front,
where you can contest,
when you go to that blue base, you have this balcony, as you can see. So there's that opportunity where you can push from elevator and try to just contest. Just make it hectic. And here they come. Noobs, Vicious, they're trying to get in that position, but Saints trying to push on it out. You can see he just slides on back. But Mazer, for now, at least they're just being annoying as Destiny is able to find 2.
Trying to make it at least on easy points for Pittsburgh Knights, but when it's all said and done, they look to be retaking the lead with a brilliant hold there inside of blue. We stick
so
with
each team did what they were supposed to.
Yeah. You just can't have it rally together. We saw EG do against Mindfreak. That's when the game opened up, right? You've locked down both bases. All of a sudden, you're looking at a 100-point advantage, and you're smoking the other team. So you got to split there, and they're able to do that after getting beat up at orange.
Yeah, nice shots there by Vivid as he finds 2 bottom middle. He's having a solid game at 10-7. It's always fun, you know, when we have teams like Mazer just be in these sort of situations, because we become kind of fans of these players just based on how they perform against some of these top teams.
Part of it, you root for the underdog too. There's always a party that just kind of wants to see the up-and-coming squad, the underdogs make a play. Pittsburgh Knights, though, once again going to retain control of the hard point. Rex and company come pushing forward from Mazer Gaming. They're able to find 2 kills. They're in the back. Parasite weak, but still up. He tries to push forward, but Parasite going to greet him there with a melee to the face, and still shut it down. And a 20-point lead now for Pittsburgh Knights. But as we get done with our first side of rotation, I guess, do you have any major takeaways from either side?
I think the major takeaway right there was just a great hold on that last steal by Pittsburgh Knights. I mean, now you're starting to get those specialists start to come into play. Pander has that TAC 5 boost. Saints does have the War Machine. This first hill, I mean, it can be very difficult to break as well. As Destiny, well, those are all great kills for Mazer Gaming. That's all 5 down. That's what you want.
Well, maybe this first hard point will be a heck of a lot less scrappy now, because they got...
Vivid call that in. You heard that grab slam. Yeah, he actually tried to grab slam that player top window, so he doesn't have it anymore. He has it halfway, thankfully, but still a bit of a misuse.
Yeah, swing and a whiff. At least on the first attempted use. But this has been so back and forth. It's like one good hold answered by another solid one from the opposite side. Vicious is going to go ahead and pull out the Tempest. He's building on streaks too as well. You see he's got the Lightning Strike at the bottom right to work with. And they've now got the lead as well. He doesn't have a lot of time left on this. Can he find anything else? And this is what you mentioned earlier in a match. Just sitting there and sometimes soaking up the hard point times. If you're close to a streak, he gets that just based on the objective.
And Mazer did exactly what they wanted. Is Vivid and Destiny able to find kills. GodRx, he does have some help from Saints. but Mazer Gaming were able to push on through towards this orange. So you have a couple of players in the back. Rex with a great Annihilator, but he's going to get traded. Saints pops the War Machine. Again, this base control so important. That's why all of these teams are investing in those specialists right now. But somehow Pittsburgh able to get this hill under their control.
And did I miss it? Tyler Parasite, did he pop his Annihilator? Did he get anything from it?
I don't think he did.
Okay, I just noticed that he had it depleted when you mentioned the Annihilator use coming out from Rex, but if it was popped, I mean, it had to have been. Nothing that we saw came from it, but like you said, Pittsburgh Knights will retain control. You still have Panda set up all the way in the back. Saints is going to go ahead and bring in the War Machine, but he's going to get killed after, I think, just finding just one kill with it.
I think you heard a War Machine go off, or sorry, a Hellstorm go off as well. So a streak invested. And I don't know if I 100% agree with that from Mazer because, yeah, they have hill control, but it's just with 15 seconds left. You can see the Knights, they're just taking control of blue base. So maybe a bit of an overreach right there by Mazer Gaming, but we'll see if they can break on in here. It's Vivid trying to get positioned towards that window. There is one player in it. That's Pander. Ricky now has his Tempest out, and it just fights back and forth, but Godorex with the grab slam, having a great game at 21 and 18, able to find a couple of kills, and now they have a 20-point lead.
Ricky trying to find more with this Tempest. He'll be able to get control of the back spot. I think all you have is what, basically the War Machine on the side of Destiny?
Yeah, Lightning just gets called in, takes down 2 of his teammates. I think he tried to put it on the balcony of the blue, but he ended up taking down some of his teammates.
We've seen a lot of team kills with the Lightning and Hellstorm today already.
So this is where it's getting a little bit out of hand. Again, just a couple of pushes that I didn't like out of Mazer, and Pittsburgh Knights have taken advantage of it with great specialist usage, and now a bad streak, and, well, you have a 50-point lead.
We'll watch Rex's POV for now as he's trying to work towards another Annihilator in this game, but they're trailing by 50. They've got to bring it back, and maybe it'll be a stronghold here at Pipes that can get it done. Rotation now in. 3 kills come through for Mazer Gaming. They need a solid here. This is where they've got to go off. And they've got the spawns pushed out pretty deep for Pittsburgh Knights, but they've got 2 players looking to hit through mid-map. I believe that's going to be Godorex looking to hit through mid. Look at the long flank coming in from Saints. They're going to try and collapse here, so a lot for Mazer Gaming to work with.
Now that one player called it out as soon as he spawned. That was Destiny, who spawned out near that second hill, near that blue base, so the pinch was alive. So that was Vivid who turns around, able to pick up Saints. Vivid didn't invest the grab slam, trying to just do his best to stay alive. You said it, they need a good hold here. He's able to find a couple, but Godorex and Saints are still there. Mazer trying to hold on, now only down by 30, so a good 4th hill at Pipes, and they have the early rotation towards that elevator hill.
They'll give up this final 20 seconds to just try and set up. Pander cleaves out the final player mid-map, and they want to go ahead and push. There's 3 here, but you got 4 players from Pittsburgh Knight that are trying to come on through. Vicious finds the 2-piece that turns it into their favor for just a moment. He ends up finding 3, so that 4-man hit with man advantage for Pittsburgh Knights gets shut down. So another opening here for Mazer Gaming to try and find some time and bring themselves back into this.
Yeah, I'm just taking a look at the scoreboard. Vicious is getting pretty close to Tempest. Rex with the Annihilator as well. Looks like they're going to get some specialists before the Knights will. I mean, Parasite's on his way as he finds a couple of kills, but it looks like specialists during those clutch moments might be there for Mazer, but they can't allow the Pittsburgh Knights to win here.
Yeah, the problem is they're just giving up too much time at this hard point. They just got broken. They have to contest. You're over the 220 mark for Pittsburgh Knights, and they're looking to be, I mean, if any contest comes in, they can't close it out, but it puts the pressure on Mazer Gaming for elite. They have to try and get in and also set up for the next hard point. But you already see in top window, you have Parasite set up. Backing him up is going to be Ricky, so this might get out of control. They might put Mazer out. Well, what? There was a contest for just a moment there, so they're going to be all right, but they've got the rotation.
Yeah, they got to get across as quickly as possible. We'll see. Vicious does have Tempest. Can they get in, though? That'll be the big question. A great hold right now as Ricky finds the first one. Here comes the player sliding on in. Destiny, that's a good opener. But Godorex is there, and what a game from him. 32 and 24. Vicious, though, trying to get in with the Tempest. Does he chain all 3? He does, or is it 4 players? Where's his team? Does he have any help? And it looks like the Pittsburgh Knights are hanging on.
They're still getting the spawn in the back. I think he had 4 knocked at that point. And Parasite's going to bring in the Annihilator. He finds 2. That'll close it out. I mean, they had a pretty big lead down the stretch there, but it got interesting behind the Tempest from Mazer Gaming. He couldn't knock them all before they got back, or couldn't finish them before they got back on their feet.
It was really a back and forth game early on, but there was just one play where They called that streak in the back of that second hill, and they flipped the spawns in favor of Pittsburgh Knights, where they just had a great orange to blue rotation, and that's really the difference there. It's about a 60-point game, and that's where those points come in.
Well, Pittsburgh Knights will get on the board. Now we'll see what they're able to do in Search and Destroy, but like you said, a big performance from GodRx.
It's a lot closer than I thought, though. What about you?
Yeah, I'd say it absolutely was. I mean, I just, mostly that's because I'm not as familiar, I guess, with the side of Mazer Gaming, but Pittsburgh Knights get it done. Now, we asked you guys on Twitter using CWL PS4 as the hashtag, which player you're looking at to have a big impact at the CWL Pro League qualifier. This is from Howie Got Him. We need to see World War II Kenny come back and open things up for Slasher and Octane. Howie, I'm sorry, but so far that has not happened. But there's a lot of COD to play.
I mean, that just seems to be the biggest criticism right now of 103s, right? Like, just the SOG players, the Maddox players, just
they've been under
getting
fire,
on the same page.
Here from Quinn Diesel, 100% Dylan Codd. With how Sweener playing, his quality will shine through. It's another one where so far, unfortunately, not looking great. As that was that big game one, come from behind victory from Reciprocity, and things kind of fell apart from there. Skills MLG. If you haven't noticed, Celium has came to play, and he left his router at home. Hashtag CWL PS4. Yeah, so this one's on the nose at least so far. Celium has looked really, really solid. Obviously, we only saw kind of that first best of 5, but so far, so good. We'll see if he can keep it going. But for the other call-outs, yeah, I mean, Team Sweden's got to turn it around. Kenny and 100 Thieves absolutely have to turn it around, as they've looked awful. We'll see if they can pick it up, because it gets scary. You know, I think I think Pharaoh tweeted like scary times already, because yeah, I mean, after losing that one, it's like, oh god, are we having the same issues we did in the entire lead up to this? I mean, it's shocking when you have problems for 3-4 months well, not 3-4 months, I exaggerate a bit there, but a couple months, it kind of continues in.
Yeah, and it's just, what is the issue, right? It just seems like there's a lot of ego on a whole bunch of different personalities. Nobody wants to change who's the leader of this team. When they talk things over, it just feels like, all right, we're on the same page. They go and play and scrim, and then, well, it's the same issues arise.
5 days of COD. Well, maybe
just one match. It's just one match.
So
same with Celium. He only played one.
Well, we'll turn our focus back to the Pittsburgh Knights taking on Mazer Gaming. Game 1 victory to Pittsburgh Knights. Search and Destroy. I mean, we haven't seen at least a ton from the Mazer side with regards to Search and Destroy, but you definitely have some players from the Pittsburgh Knights end that, you know, have had solid careers when you talk about Search and Destroy.
Yeah, I think Ricky, Parasite, just a couple to name as well. I mean, great Search and Destroy players throughout their entire career. It's really where they've made a ton of impact. This is definitely one where they should excel.
Parasite talking it through with the troops now, and I just know how bad he wants this. I mean, he is, I guess you'd say he's one of the more loved and hated COD pros in a way, just based on some of the
polar opposites, yeah.
Yeah, just very, very polar opposites within the community, and some of that is based on his performance or, you know, the way he's acted with teams. But, you know, it just feels like every year, you know, he's trying to turn over a new leaf, and can it actually happen? Can he get on that squad? Can he make a run? Can he show that he's one of the world's best? And this is another crack at it.
Talent has never been his weakness at all. I think he's always been a very talented player, very skilled. I mean, the guy's a world champ for a reason, but it's always just come down to the bridges he's burned on past teams, right? Players don't want to play with him.
Well, that's why I think he has to.
Over the past few years, it seems it has changed.
But it's gotten to a point where, like, no matter how good he is, I just don't. Yeah, you don't see him getting picked up by your optic, your phase. You're not, just because of maybe those bridges that have been burned. So it feels like he needs to build a team, and he needs that team to be good. Because I don't know if there's a circumstance where, like, it's a top 4 to 6 team that's going to pick him up, just because of those situations that have arisen over the past 3 to 4 years.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, if he does get good enough, right, in the pro league and really becomes a star, I think teams will take a chance on him again. It's just he has to get.
You got to get the superstar status. Yeah,
right.
There becomes, you get so good where your attitude, nothing matters. Once you get so good, you can kind of make up for any of that. But they still got to get through this series, and obviously through the Pro League qualifiers, we can continue on in day 1. We'll get to Gridlock, Search and Destroy next.
You and I've got to get them out of this today. So
both our series, right? Yeah, they're both
Gridlock,
our game 2s.
Gridlock, you know.
It's like Seaside every map and Gridlock.
Yeah.
Seaside map 1, Gridlock map 2. We've had a couple times today.
Gridlock Masters.
Yeah, some would say. Did you see anything maybe from the first couple of series that really stood out for you on this map? This is the way teams were attacking it.
I mean, there's a lot more B presence. I think early on in the game, there's always that one bomb site, right? That just teams attack. It was always A inside of Showers. But, you know, we have some good sniper play, teams playing around their information. And just as I say that early on, Mazer going to attack that A site. But, yeah, just I expect a lot more B play. Yeah. And we're starting to see that as Rex, though, able to find one. Parasite trades that. Now you have a 4 versus 4 as Mazer getting very aggressive early on in this round.
The help comes in for Parasite. He's trying to hold now with the ICR. There's a 3-man front and side, but GodRx just rips him apart. Did he just get a collat headshot there?
I have no idea.
I wasn't looking at the kill feed for a moment, but it looked like 2 popped up. He had the snipe out early in the round.
Be the play of the game.
Yeah, let's see this.
I'm hoping so.
Because they were stacked up. I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure he hit the collat through here.
Did he like wall bang somewhere?
Oh, there it is. All right, so both cross.
That player was sliding. That was nasty.
Oh, my. And then he gets the 3rd as he pulls out the Mozu. Okay. I thought when I saw him, I was like,
he's got a little smirk.
Pretty sure he had a snipe to open this up.
Yeah, but he's like, yeah, it just happened.
Yeah, you guys all saw the play.
Yeah.
Nice shot as he rips off 2 faces to give them the edge in the round. Now maybe we'll see what Rex can do with a sniper on the other end of things.
Yeah, looking at Pittsburgh Knights so far, just a very slow attack round, just trying to get Mazer in their own head. Not seeing anything at A, not seeing anything at B, so spreading them as thin as possible, not allowing them to rotate together. So it looks like four players, and actually not the bomb player, now all 5. They're starting to move on towards that A site. Panda with some shots. Maybe just trying to force a rotation as you see Parasite starting to move on up. Rex is still there, though, with that snipe.
Yeah, gets a little peek, gets some information. Now he wants to go ahead and stun out.
Good idea.
Well, whatever type of car that is just got stunned.
Sure did. Saints does find a first blood. Vivid, though, able to respond. Now 30 seconds left, and Rice just needs to stay alive.
Hatchback Prius or something. GodRx puts 1 shot over the shoulder. Now going to be a 4 versus 4, under 30 seconds to go. Saints trying to make an aggressive play. Connects with some shots, but not able to finish it. Destiny just going to get out of harm's way. 3 versus 3 now. Under 20 to play. They've got to get towards the bomb. GodRx trying to make a play with the stun. He's able to hit and connects with the shots. But they don't have a ton of time to work with. Now 2 versus 2. Has to get the plant down. Saints has got the cover. No one in a position to stop this plant. So, can he get there? Can he get there? Is he going to get there? Oh, I thought he might get an angle at the last second to cut it down. But somehow he gets the plant off and stays up for a moment. Buys Saints a little bit of time. And now it's going to be a 1v2 for Saints in this post plant.
I don't think he's been spotted just yet now. Looks like Vicious does see him. And there we go, juice him out. Good play out of Vicious. That slide through that front door baited Saints to just over peek a little bit. And a good retake situation by Mazer.
So that'll tie things up at 1 apiece. Pittsburgh Knights able to get that plant off in that crazy situation, but unfortunately your bomb planner's not able to get away with his life and puts Saints in a tough spot.
And you can see for a while what Mazer was trying to do. They knew that they had to plant the bombs here where they were hunting Saints down as he moved his way towards the bomb site. Instead it forced a 2v2, but GodRx couldn't get off the bomb. So a pretty crazy round where it just felt like the Knights were a little too slow to act.
You saw they invested, Parasite invested a concussion in that. GodRx did as well. I think he still had 1 to work with on their side, but it'll be tied up at 1 apiece. Because right now it looks like the Mazer side just trying to get a feel for the defense, pick where they want to push, but Vivid able to connect. So we've had, a snipe out of Rex, and now from Vivid, so maybe they have Rex sniping on the defensive end.
I just look at the map, though. All of Pittsburgh Knights are together towards this B site. Yeah, A's going to be a free bomb plant as they work their way through Showers. They're going to see there's nobody in here. So now Vivid just needs to stay alive. There's no reason to challenge. Get back with your team. Just watch this flank, and Bomb's going to be going down.
Just about to finish. There we'll have bomb planted. Vicious, though, going to get picked, so it will become a 4v4 quickly. And we saw a lot of retakes on this side as Vivid tries to peek with the Mozu. He had no chance, so Parasite finds both opening kills. The cluster of Destiny trying to at least get close to evening these odds. Saints had eyes on Rex. He's able to connect. A flank in from Noobs. He's not going to be the last man up at a 1v2. 20 seconds now to work with. You've got Ricky set up a tree. Saints is hunting right now. and they've just pushed him back. He wins the gunfight. Will he be able to take the second? Not able to get healed up before the melee of Saints comes in.
He almost played that well around the time winning that gunfight, but just couldn't slide away from Saints.
He just had, he needed like, God, another second basically to lay that, right?
I mean, that's just a mistake though for Mazer. I mean, both of your guys watching the flank are just away from the team inside the set. I think you can just all back up towards the site, play the 5v4. You have the numbers game. Instead, 2 of them get picked off. I mean, if all 5 players are near that bomb, they trade effectively. It's over. Parasite with some great shots here.
He found both entries.
He finds both, and this is what forces the 4v3. Vivid just gets caught with that sniper.
Well, he got caught with a Mozu out. He like peeked out.
At that point, just go on a flank. Just lay flank all the way through.
Yeah. Let's get into round number 4. The offense back to Pittsburgh Knights as they're going to have a heavy push towards the A site. You see it's mid-map from the defensive team in Mazer Gaming. They find nothing mid. They're going to wrap back towards their spawn and get in towards A. By the time they get there, the bomb will be planted. So now we'll see what Pittsburgh Knights can do with this, so they can get a 2-round advantage. These
How many snipers they have?
Wait, so I think Rex, Vivid, and Noobs have all sniped now?
Maybe they base it off of a spawn. I'm not exactly sure, but Godorex, he's able to find 3 on the round already. Saints with another one, and Godorex able to find 4.
Yeah, unless I'm just seeing things, but I'm pretty sure 3 of them have snipers now.
They may just base it off a specific spawn.
Could be. That's pretty cool if that's what they're doing, because that is, I mean, I can't think of a team we've casted where I've seen 3 different players on a team having snipers. Unless we're talking back to like Ghost, Octane, Search, and you'd have like 3 snipers out.
We also had Overkill, so that helps.
That was a little different, yeah. I do remember the madness that was, though. Who started that? Was that Team Caliber that did that early? I don't know. I'm thinking way too far back. I'm either right or way off.
Just making stuff up now.
Yeah, I'm good at that. I'm good at that. But Pittsburgh Knights now up 3-1. They've got nothing towards B. We've seen a lot of just on this map, due to, I think, more diversity in the plants, like a lot of just easy plants right throughout the course of the day. Yeah. This is our 3rd one. I think 50% plus of the plants just been really uncontested 20 seconds into the round.
Yep. Well, it looks like
as I say that, though, they didn't actually get it down.
Yeah, it looks like they're baiting it a little bit. Pittsburgh Knights going to start to push on up. That's Ricky's first kill of the map. He's able to find one. Can he find a second? He can. Snaps onto him. Has the help of Godorex. And Ricky's been up this entire time. Has the help of Parasite. Just like that, it's a 3 versus 1. And that's why you see a lot of teams just wait for those 5v5 initial fights. They just try to stack on together. Banner easily on a flake, and that's an easy.
Yeah, as soon as I say they're just going to get it down quickly, you're right.
Well, I think Mazer could have. I think Mazer
they absolutely could have. Yeah,
I think they were just trying to bait it.
Yeah,
you saw that player start to move up the alley. Sometimes you just get in your own head, sort of complicate things. But I mean, if you get that bomb down, you have that player in the truck. That's everything you could ask for.
A good round for Ricky. He said he had 0 kills coming into this round. He finds a pair. But so far, I think what most would probably expect from this series, Pittsburgh Knights kind of handling business, but I know it's the first time we've seen these guys. But this would put, I mean, Pittsburgh Knights get the win. They're suddenly at the top of their pool.
Who am I missing? Who else did they have Vegas besides Lacefield? I'm missing somebody.
Oh, God. You're going to need me. I'm going to bust out my phone.
I know.
I hate when I can't think of something and that's going to bother me until I Google it later. Thank you.
All right, but Parasite pulls out the Annihilator, cleaning things up. Just 1 player left, and Parasite finds 3. That is the power of that specialist.
Just blowing through. Mazer now 1 round away. Yeah, all right, you pulling your phone out? Thank you. I appreciate that. We'll see it from Parasite's POV. Ooh, rips 1 off a tree. I made that sound a lot more impressive than it was with the 1-shot weapon. But still, he's able to find 3. The final one in small room. Rex can't get around the edge. But nice plays from Parasite. That cracked me up the other day when Parasite was like gassing himself. He had that, remember the Reddit post where he's like, he was in 3rd person. He's like, Parasite goes off. And it's like, Parasite
hey, man, I respect it.
No, I didn't really have a problem. It was just funny. He had a monster game. And it's like the 3rd person element. Saints finds the first blood. Vicious tries to answer back, but it's not going to be a 4-on-4 theory. There we go. That
I was just talking to him.
I appreciate that. He literally was just in the green room, like hanging out with us. Sorry, Theory. Love you, buddy.
Just a lot of team kills right now. Saints finds 1 Godorex. So now it's a 1 versus 2. A couple of team kills come through for the Pittsburgh Knights.
And not that it matters a ton because it's 5-1, but GodRx is 50 points off of finding that Lightning. So if he can at least pick up a kill here, I mean, he can maybe clutch this and just close it out, but if he gets 1 kill and loses the round, maybe at least a little extra utility to shut this game 2 down.
Or just stays alive. I mean, what does it matter if...
Yeah, just give up the round, carrying him.
But still, I mean, if you are the Knights, you invested in your I mean, they have no specialists right now. I mean,
I don't think they saw him. Did he get around the corner at the last second, or did they spot him?
Wait, what? What is this timing? Oh my.
I don't know if they saw him the first time. I feel like they did by the way they cut that back, but he got some fortunate timing for sure, which is going to keep his streak dream alive, at least for now. Bomb gets planted. Can GodRx get the clutch? He's the guy that opened it up with the collat, really, in round 1. Ripped off 2 heads of the Paladin. Is there a little bit more magic here for GodRx?
Doesn't have a ton of time.
He's 11 and 2 with 7 kills in a row, by the way.
He had a great game 1 as well. That's what I was saying. I think this guy could potentially be the next one up if they don't make the Pro League. But if they do, he'll be a ton of fun to watch. GodRx, yep, going to get taken down. And at that point, I feel like he just played for the streets, but that's okay. They're up 5-2.
Yeah, it might be one of those situations where just you're up 5-1 at the time. Just kind of go for it, try to make a play, especially when you're 11 and 2. But yeah, maybe just stay alive for the streaks. Obviously, that's going to be a moment maybe we look back on if they somehow lose this game.
Well, I think Saints had a team kill with the War Machine. He had one as well with the Grav Slam. So Parasite used the Annihilator.
Kind of a bit of a sloppy round. Well, the Annihilator, yeah, he used that 2 rounds ago, but they have.
We'll see if they have anything left. I don't know if they will. Yep. Ricky is close to the Tempest, and then on the other side, that's when it gets scary, right? Those sort of comebacks, the way they happen is that opposing team, they start to earn specialists and make the individual plays.
Ooh, he just gets away. Does he invest the Tempest here?
Has to. Desperation time.
Yep, there we go. I figured he was going to pop it immediately once he got away with his life. Now he's got to make the play. Pittsburgh Knights with the plant. Looking for an opening. Can't connect on the first shot. Going to bait Vivid in. There he's able to get in. 2 get chained. He's got 2 down. His teammates trying to pick it up. 3rd pushes forward. He hits the shot. So I think he's got 3 on the ground. 2 of them will get cleaned up. Suddenly, the last man up is going to be Ricky. Another 1v2 scenario for Pittsburgh Knights to close this out, but round by round, Mazer Gaming looks to be getting back into this.
And now Rex is just shouldering this. The one player was on the defuse. Now Ricky's just going to go away. He knows they might not have time. 12 seconds left. Rex should make it on back. I'm going to be honest with you, Glenn. I think we're going to go the distance right now.
Now you got the Annihilator. Yeah. So imagine if you, so you said what, Panda was close to getting TAC 5, right? So they go up TAC 5.
No, Ricky was the only player close with Tempest.
No, I think Panda was close to TAC 5, wasn't he? Oh, we'll have to check. I thought he was about to get it.
But still, I don't think that's like a huge round.
No. Especially if the Annihilator comes out, it's not going to matter.
Yep.
Play of the game is the bomb plant.
So we might be talking about that round where GodRx could have potentially just stayed alive and got those streaks.
We'll see. We'll see. They're talking it through. You know, they were rolling. They were steamrolling through. Now back-to-back rounds they've dropped. Let's take a look at the specialist kind of right away into this round, see what you have. I think you're going to have TAC 5 on the side of Pittsburgh Knights. Oh, he's close. He didn't get it yet. So
and then Ricky has his.
Ricky has the Tempest, okay. And then you have Rex with the Annihilator. Can Rex make a play with that Annihilator? Here we go. That's a big one. Did he pop the Tempest? He did pop the Tempest, though. I believe he picked up Ricky right after he popped it.
Just like that, though. It's a 2 versus 2 as the trades go down. Another team kill comes in. But both Noobs and Vicious on opposite side of the map. And actually, Noobs got around Pander. Pander was top middle. This could be the kill. Yeah, this is the opening. He got around that player. Now 1v2.
Oh, not like this.
Uh-oh.
Not like this.
Yeah, like that.
This is 3 1v2s in a row. Just tough spots for Pittsburgh Knights to try and be in. Not able to turn it into a 1v1, and he will drop. I forgot with Codcaster, it shows whoever you're highlighting with regards to their progress, so I don't know if he popped it or not. Ricky with the Tempest. We'll have to check. We'll wait and see. I forgot that it has like it shows the progress of whoever you're on with. If he did pop it and he got nailed with the Annihilator right away, that's tough. But we'll have to wait and see. But it was 5-1 Pittsburgh Knights.
With
looking good.
50 points away from streaks.
Now it's getting close. Now it's getting scary. Yeah, he did pop it. So he popped it and then got ripped.
So you do have TAC 5 boost. Parasite is close to the Annihilator. might be able to find another one. The other side, War Machine, not there yet. Grav Slam, not there yet, so.
Tac 5 in. So this is where you just need to close the game out here. You got Tac 5 in. You don't have to really worry about anything, at least as of now, coming out from Mazer. But the longer this round goes, obviously you could have Grav Slam or
if he gets a kill, if
Battery
he gets
coming
a
to play.
kill, yeah. Now Destiny just needs to try to stay up. Yep, get that information. Gonna back it out, and then we're gonna have another retake.
Bomb plant now going down today. Pittsburgh Knights gonna have to try and hold off here. Bomb in. Now it's all in this retake from Mazer. They're gonna push this to another round. Opening kills.
That's Vivid too.
Opening kills going the way of Pittsburgh Knights. Some trades come through. It's a mess right now, but Mazer Gaming in a 2 versus 3. Noob somehow getting away with his life. The fight comes in. They all get dropped, though, as Pittsburgh Knights holds on and gets the W. Might have been a little bit scarier than you thought it'd be, but I think that is just showing the importance of specialists. And then, you know, when you have those situations where you make a big play, you get 3 kills, how much it can turn the tide. But we got a little bit nervous for Pittsburgh Knights there for a bit, but ultimately they're able to close it down.
Well, I think it just if you even have a 1-kill game better from Destiny, he has the War Machine. Same thing with their Grav Slam player. Like, they were right there. Like,
yeah, like you said, they get the opening kill. They find an easy pick. Suddenly you invest that, and they're able to do it. But we're going to take a look at the scuff play of the game, and of course it's going to be the Collat. We'll see it from GodRx's point of view as he's just kind of lining it up through Closet, and he rips both. Just,
that, like,
you barely even see the second. I don't think he had any idea he was shooting at 2. But that's disgusting stuff. Sometimes with Collats, it's just a little bit of luck. But that was nice.
Yeah, there's that little smirk at the end as well. He's like, ooh. So a great game from him. I mean, great match so far. He's had a good game 1 where he had 30+ right there. He just was in the double digits. So Pittsburgh Knights in control, but a little bit closer. Couple of tiny mistakes from the Knights.
But all that matters is that you get the W. They're looking to sit top of this pool just based on some of the losses and upsets that have already come throughout the course of the Pro League qualifier. We'll be right back and see if they can close it out. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Pittsburgh Knights, Mazer Gaming. We're deep into day one of the Pro League qualifier. A reminder to those of you maybe just tuning in, I don't know, maybe you got out of school. You weren't able to watch earlier in the day. We've got 28 teams competing for the final 12 spots. It's a Call of Duty World League extravaganza over the next 5 days.
It really is.
Yeah, it's a lot of COD, man. This is a lot of fun. Some of the world's best outside of the actual world's best, which are the top 4 teams that already got into the Pro League, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it. You and I are casting 19 series this week.
Something like that.
Vegas, we casted 7.
Yeah, like 6 3-0s or something, too.
Yeah.
So,
we've had a couple of 3-0s today. We had a great Game 5 between EG and Mindfreak. A lot of upsets if you haven't kept up with everything.
No, it's like an absurd amount. Like, I was talking, there were a couple upsets that happened that I didn't even...
Sorry!
No, I didn't even know a couple of them that happened.
Like what?
There were some... Oh, don't make me rip my head, because my ears will start bleeding. But there were like 5 or 6, though, honestly. Like, it feels like more teams that were favored to win have lost than have won.
Well, I mean, like, Sweden lost to Reciprocity, but do you count that as an upset? I guess.
No, I mean, technically by seeding it is, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, 100 Thieves lose. You had Team Space get taken down.
Mindfreak lost.
BDG. There was a lot. There's been a lot.
And it all happened in, like, the same slot.
Yeah, it really did.
Let's get into Game 3. Control here on Frequency. Mazer fighting to try and get a victory, and again, this is such a big matchup just based on how the pool has gone so far. You really get a massive foot forward with a win here due to the losses of Sween and 100 Thieves. Or sorry, Spacey and 100 Thieves.
And they play later tonight, so one of those teams today will be 0-2.
Well, that's why, like, yeah, that match was already probably going to be a good one, but now I feel like there's even more pressure on that match.
You don't want to be 0-2.
No, absolutely not. I mean, you still obviously have the chance of the double elimination bracket, but that's not what you want your thought to be after day one. Like, oh, cool.
Yeah, the Knights able to find that A site, now moving their way on over towards B. Watch that number 5, that's Pander. He's going for a couple of spawn kills as the rest of his team starts to move on up, and yeah, Pander able to get that kill. So now he's just being a nuisance. He is just being so annoying, and this is all he has to do. His team has the numbers on the hill. Well, you can see Saints starting to earn his way some streaks, and I mean, this might be over as 2 ticks come in at B.
Yeah, he's 3-1, and he's already real close to picking some up. Maybe a bit too aggressive there. GodderX was also close. Like, it felt like everybody really from the side of Pittsburgh Knights.
Game right now. I mean, it's 23-11. That was about a 72nd round right there.
I thought something was bugged because every player we hopped to again on Pittsburgh Knights was like the same progress towards streaks. They were all like 300-400 points off, but they were just annihilating Mazer is what was happening.
Yeah, so a great opening round by Pittsburgh Knights. It was really just that rotation from that A to the B site. You had one player, I believe it was Parasite, in their window. Pander worked through that elbow, and the last 3 just won a couple of gunfights on that control position. And
that's about as one-sided a round as you can see.
Yeah. Especially for an offense.
Yeah. Well, let's see if Pittsburgh Knights can keep it going, but I do want to watch Mazer and see what they can do on their offensive round. Just taking a look at the blown-up minimap to kind of see the team splits. We saw that grapple used by GodderX as he flies across to try and get in position, but it's actually Noobs that finds a couple of opening kills. Destiny follows it up, and the first wave looks pretty good for Mazer to get set up. Can they get the foothold that you saw from Pittsburgh Knights, though, is the question.
Yeah, I thought Destiny was going to push his way on up, but he's just going to hold that inner and outer position. Melee comes in. Vicious able to get that kill, just trying to stay alive, and a great first push once again. You do have one player who went all the way around. That was Ricky and Saints. Ricky able to keep this one alive as he wins 4 gunfights in a row. He's at 8-2.
He's held this point basically by himself.
That's such a huge
by fighting all 4 and make it 5 in a row is now he's getting close to streaks. He doesn't even need help. Well, finally he's going to need help as 3 players kind of overwhelm him, but that's delayed a whole heck of a lot of time there because they were, what, a centimeter off getting that final tick.
And now look at this. You have Saints pushed up into this orange base. You have number 1, that's GodderX. He's going to watch his elbow, just try to be a nuisance. I think that player heard him, yeah. Still, though, able to find a kill. Vivid and Noobs trying to get them pushed out of their base. And
that's just got to be frustrating, man. You think you got that point done if you're Mazer. You're like, oh, we got it. It's in the books.
And now the Knights are just being annoying as Pander finds his way into the base. Destiny, though, able to find 2 kills on the A site, but just a lot of staggered pushes right now from both sides where teams are finding openings.
And it just shows, man. I mean, I know this is true for every MOA, but like one individual moment, man, can turn the tides in such a big way.
Feels like it has.
GodderX some extra love on top as he's spraying bodies. They're feeling good. 6-kill advantage. It's Pittsburgh Knights, despite the fact they lost that opening series. Ricky got him right back into it as Mazer falling to pieces before our very eyes.
That is a tough round, and once again, it's Pander just spawn killing.
You can't get out of your spawn save.
That's demoralizing.
That's not fun.
Vicious just falls off the map. He's like, I'm out. Peace.
Yeah.
Peace. I'll see you later.
I'll see you in round
He didn't try the 1v14. I don't know why. I think he would have had it.
Let's get to the next round. But Ricky, yeah, this is going to be the play of the game, I think, on the flank where he's able to find everything.
Well, I think it was Saints who pushed the flank, which really turned a player or two around, and then he just steps his way on up.
Thank you, Joe.
I misspoke.
I appreciate that.
I got you.
Thank you.
I'm here to fact check you. Don't worry.
Well, I need that all the time.
I know.
That's what I love about you.
Fighter says you need a reality check.
That was so funny. So if you guys weren't watching earlier, like I had basically said, what was
you said that.
Shut up.
No, you
what was the question?
It's all good. Let's focus on Pittsburgh Knights. 1 round away from winning this match. Can't believe you said
I love Mind Freak. Woo! GodRx now 225 off of streaks. He's going high off the wall. Catch Rex as he makes the play.
He's feeling himself. Look at this guy right now. He had a great game one. He's going for the spawn kills with the lightning strike. He's at 11 and 4, and you can just tell he's feeling confident. He's able to find a couple of spawn kills. This might be another 70-second round. You have both of them. Both points are being captured right now.
And Ricky, the Tempest shot goes, I don't know where, but that provides a bit of an opening for Mason, or at least make sure they don't lose that point. He hits that shot, things get a lot more interesting, but
yeah, and they bounce back at B as well.
For now they solidify.
GodRx still alive on that streak, able to find the Hellstorm. Noobs goes down.
And it feels like he's just playing disrespectful right now. He's just flying at them. He has no respect for the competition right now. But with the way he's playing, you don't need much. Just get off the map. GodRx is smoking up.
I'm gonna slide here, go back. Slide here, go back. And then once again, there's that split push, and B's captured. A with the War Machine about to be captured. And GG, Pittsburgh Knights with a 3-0 over Mazer Gaming in both control and the series.
GodRx will finish at 19 and 4. You talked about him quite a bit leading into this. You think he's got the talent to be one of those next up type of guys. Well, he showed it in that series. Quick work of Mazer Gaming. Pittsburgh Knights look good, and it's a big win. Like they won before they even played this series, just based on some of the other results. But now they're feeling great.
Yeah, and Mazer Game, I think they had that game 3 was much different than games 1 and 2. The hard point was pretty close. They were in it for a good majority of the time. There was about one play which really swung things in favor of the Knights.
Was that the mode, or you think they sort of folded in the series in that game?
No, it might have been the mode. I think the mode. I think just frequency control. I mean, if you don't have the slaying power, you're just going to get ran over like we just saw.
Incredible performance there from Pittsburgh Knights. Obviously, that's not one of their biggest tests within the pool. We're going to see that as the week moves forward. But if you're a Pittsburgh Knights fan, Parasite fan, any of the guys on that squad, you got to feel pretty good about what you saw. But no upset there. You know, you thought maybe something would happen based on the rest of the results kind of across these pools. But they're able to handle business, and I think, for many, one of the favorites to maybe come out and make the Pro League, maybe not get top 2, but now I think you could argue that they are the favorite to get maybe the #1 spot in their pool, which is crazy to say half of the way through day 1.
Well, it just depends. I think the winner of 100 Thieves basically is probably the favorite, right? Because you would still have the head-to-head over Pittsburgh Knights if you beat them, right? So probably that team will probably go 5-1 if they beat the Knights. But I mean, Knights, like you said, they're in a comfortable position right now.
So far, looking good, and we still have what? How many series do we have remaining? 2 more series tonight?
Some good ones.
Yeah, so 2 great ones. You said it was
G2 Envy?
Yes, G2 Envy, and then the 100 Thieves Space one to close it out, right?
Yep, so one of those teams will be 0-2. G2, I mean, they've made some great roster acquisitions. Envy, I can't wait to see them. Just a lot of stuff happening tonight.
Certainly, that is true. But Pittsburgh Knights get the victory, and for the PlayStation Instant Reaction, we have Ricky with Jess.
Thanks, Clint. So, Ricky, you are new here on the squad along with Saints. How do you feel that you and Saints are fitting into the team?
I think this team's very underrated. I think coming to this team with Saints or Renato, I think we bring a lot to this team. He's a really good slayer, and I'm a good leader, so I think we well round this team really good.
All right, great. Coming into the series versus Mazer, what were you expecting out of the other team?
They have an unfortunate situation where one of the players didn't come to the event. So I think they're a good team, but I just think we're really a great team. So I've seen us 3-0ing them really well.
All right, well, this is just the first day of the Pro League qualifiers, but that was such a nice win that you guys took. How does that set the stage for the rest of these next 4 or 5 days?
I see our team coming out on that first, second seed. I don't see us coming in the bracket.
All right, great. Well, thank you so much for the interview. This has been your PlayStation Instant Reaction. We will be right back after this quick break.
The official beverage of the CWL. Scuff Gaming, the official controller of the CWL. And TCL, America's fastest growing TV brand.
Welcome back to the Pro League qualifier. I am your host, Katie Bedford, joined on the analyst desk by Nameless Study and Pac-Man, where we saw the Pittsburgh Knights get a W for the day in decisive fashion.
It was a 3-0. I mean, like Rick said, it's unfortunate for Major Gaming that one of their players couldn't show up due to health reasons, but Pittsburgh Knights came out and they looked really good, man. They looked really solid. Godorex, beast, straight beast. He's an animal. The addition of Nado looked to really help them out in the respawns. He's an aggressive player that they needed to add to their team.
First 2 maps are actually really, really close. And then I feel like once Major Gaming lost that S&D, they stood no chance. The energy at that point is down. They almost had the comeback. It was 5-1, and it turned into 6-4. Almost had it, and then they just takes all momentum.
Yeah, and Joe kind of talked about it. He's like, he's been waiting for GodRx to emerge. He's kind of next up, right? And I agree with that. I think that GodRx is a fantastic player. The amount of work him and Pander have put in the last few years, it's unmatched. You know, as an amateur player, you kind of got to go through that gauntlet. And they've done it, man. And I think that this is really their time to shine, where they can make the league. They have good teammates. They have Parasite, who I think this is one of his better Call of Duties. He's been performing. And you have Saints and Rick, who, you know, those are veterans. They're good players. They've been in the league before. This is a solid roster, and that was an easy match for them. I'm excited to see them play a better team going forward and see what they're actually made of.
Yeah, Parasite, absolute unit.
He's a unit. He's always been a unit.
He went off at the last tournament, and he put his stats as his Twitter header. He just wants the respect that he deserves in this game. He's good.
Parasite made his own Reddit thread.
On the COD Reddit.
Parasite goes off on me. What? You can't make it for yourself.
Wait, by Parasite?
No, because he posted it, and he's like, well, no one else does it, so I got to do it for it.
I respect that, right? Like,
all right.
I'm gonna post my own stuff, and you guys are gonna pay me some respect.
Respect on my name.
We're going to swing on over now to the Delta stream. We'll talk about Parasite a little more later, but we're going to see what is going on as we continue through the first day of the Pro League qualifier here with Riders and Imperial on their very first map.
I probably wouldn't have got roasted so bad if I started posting my own clips. Look at this.
Be like, wow, look at this 3-piece I just got.
Intangibles. Look at me hold this spawn. Look at me hold this spawn.
I was just talking to him, and he was like, yeah. I was like, you reach your final form yet? He's like, no, not until I make the lead. This guy's going to just keep on frying once the lead going off. But Imperial, they won their first match.
Yeah, they did. BD got to win.
Yep. Riders, dude, I don't know anything about these guys. I've seen their names before, but I obviously haven't paid too much attention to the players in this roster. And they're playing good right now, though, surprisingly.
This is one of those weeks where you can make a name for yourself so that we do talk about you all the time, right? Like, I don't think that anyone's really expecting Riders to qualify here this weekend, but they have a chance just like everyone else here.
Absolutely, and so far I feel like we've seen like the Mind Freaks, the Heretics, the Knights, they've all been having a really good first day.
Yeah, I mean, sort of, you know, some of those teams that didn't have the best tournament at Vegas. And,
right.
You know, I had time to go back to the drawing board, and, you know, like we said, you're not playing against those top 4 teams in the world, so here's to kind of see where you stack up against, you know, teams a little bit more, you know, on your talent scale. Yeah, I really don't see Imperial losing this. They're down right now, but I do not expect them to lose the series at all.
To me, Imperial is one of the fringe teams that I think they really need to. They can't lose a game like this just for their mindset, right? They don't want to lose a team like this after coming out and actually taking the first match. It's just a bad loss to go back to your room with, right?
Yeah, I mean, you've seen, Reedy's teams in the past, it's kind of been like that Hockey Vortex where they'll, like, take a good team to their limit, and then they'll just lose to a team that's like, what just happened? What happened to the team we just watched? It's kind of like a roller coaster squad, but this is definitely a talented roster. I don't know if I expect them to make the league per se, but I expect them to put up some good fights. 30 seconds. We're down about 30 seconds right now. They need to try to get control of this.
Sammy is going off for Riders right now.
They have control of the hill. They're just they have movie star Riders. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
It's too much to put in the top
star.
So we're sticking with Riders and Imperial for that.
That sounds fine to me.
And this is where you see like specialist usage come into play. I think Supras and Catcher, the 2 people closest to it, you're gonna have to use those effectively if you win this game.
So Nameless, in situations like this, can walk me through when you decide to pull out those specialties, when you decide to use those big moments, like what makes you go like right now, we have to do it right now?
At this point in the game, like you've been tracking thus far throughout the map, like who's used what, when they've used it.
Right.
And you can kind of call out like, hey, I'm about to get my War Machine, he might have his, put on Flak Jacket. And it's like kind of those things that you have to micromanage during the game. If you're on point with that and you can like let your teammates know like when that War Machine's gonna come or when you have yours, you can coordinate a push with yours and you can, you know, get ready to combat the other team's push. So it's very important to kind of keep that on point, keep the communication flowing. And, you know, with some of these teams, they're sometimes not as good as the elite teams with it, but that's kind of what separates, you know, teams in this sort of echelon of skill.
Imperial made a huge mistake going into this hill, right? They bashed that last hill with like 15 seconds left when they had the back spawns, and it's caused them to spawn out. And it gave Riders
the map.
Yeah, it gave them this map. I think they were down, so they decided like, oh, look, we need to get back in it. That just ends up biting you in the backside.
Yeah.
A lot more often than it doesn't. So.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, we will have to see who ends up coming out there. But again, I feel like we have not been let down in any way today. This has not been a boring day study at all.
No, not at all. It's been a ton of upsets. Just things that we wouldn't expect. And that's what makes the day like so epic. 100T getting 3-0'd, you won't expect.
And look at where we're ending the day off with. Team Envy versus G2, right? We get to see Envious. You know, they bombed out at Vegas. We're going to get to see them play G2, another solid team. That's, for me, that's the best matchup of today on Alpha. And then we have Team Space versus 100 Thieves. Both of them lost their first match. There are two teams that everybody had their eyes on, you know, going into Vegas and then also, like, seeing how they improved. And they both, you know, start off terrible here in the PLQ. So these are two bangers we got left in the two.
So what we did just pull up here, of course, is the Respawn leaderboard from Vegas, where G2 has 2 appearances. Again, they are about to play Team Envy here at the Pro League qualifier.
The fact that Decimate did so well at Vegas when they were getting destroyed pretty much the whole weekend is mind-blowing. I think he's been really like a top player for them in this game. Like their lone bright spot before this weekend. Maybe this new roster will be better as a whole, and then we'll see if they can take over.
Yeah, I think Envy's it's a tough test, right? Like Envy's one of those teams I expected to be top 6, like, for sure. They just have like Hook and App. So going into the game, to me, that was the best submachine gun duo. Like on paper, I'm like, these guys are disgusting. Yeah, App is always in the finals of champs, and you got Hook, one of the most talented players in the game. And they just couldn't put it together, and sometimes it just seems like the Hook show. So, I mean, I'm excited to see the changes Envy's made, and if they're going to be a little bit more consistent, complement Hook.
I think Hook is like the single best player like in the game probably, but he's just on a team that doesn't function at a high level as the other players. Like if he was on like United or something like that,
it'd be unreal.
It'd be unstoppable. He'd be like an unstoppable force.
Well, we will have to see, and again, that is coming up here on the first day of the Pro League qualifier. So many shocking moments. It's only going to get better from here. And up next on that Alpha stream, we do have Team Envy versus G2 Esports. We will be right back.
Play new content first on PS4.
PlayStation.
Hello and welcome back. We've got a doozy. G2 Esports taking on Team Envy, and I think some different stories kind of with each team. Joe, I'll kind of break down Envy real quickly just with regards to, they're coming off the champs win, right? They pick up Hook. We've all talked about it. The story hasn't changed much since Vegas. Like, they struggled in Vegas. They're looking to kind of rebuild things and start to look like they used to. But G2 it's a different squad.
Yeah. It absolutely is. They drop Faceno and Ricky. They pick up a lot of firepower. They pick up Lacefield. They pick up Methods. Methods, while he got dropped from FaZe, he put up a lot of slaying numbers. And I just think that's what this G2 team needed. I feel like in the last roster, there was so much pressure on, first of all, this man, Decimate, and the second guy, this man, Blastful. They are young superstars, right? But there was so much slaying power that they had to produce. Chino, more of a role player, but then they get Lacefield and Methods, who these two guys, they can put up those numbers. They free up Blastful and Decimate, allow them to put so much pressure on the map.
And where we saw Decimate be, really kind of consistent player last year, he was playing great. I feel like Blast was all over the place. Like, sometimes Blast would drop bombs, sometimes he wouldn't. Now it takes, I think, some of that pressure off, like you said. But the G2 team leading into Vegas was, they were pretty bad. Like, they weren't winning scrims. They weren't doing well in the Pro Downs, 2Ks. They didn't do well at Vegas. This new team is, look, what did they do at the Pro Down? Didn't they, 4-0 FaZe, 4-0 Optic? They got a couple big wins recently, right?
Yeah, I don't know how the roster came together for G2 at Vegas, but if you ever need help, you just ask me. I could have told you that one wouldn't have worked a long time ago. But, yeah, I really like what they've done with this G2 roster. And then, here are maps. But Envy, world champs. Before COD champs last year, just very inconsistent, right? Missed playoffs.
They had two good weekends. Seattle and basically champs. That's it.
And I think you had another bad weekend where their search and destroy, I think, was just really bad.
They lost 15 in a row or something ridiculous, yeah.
Yeah, well, no, I'm saying at Vegas.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about last year.
Their hard points were great, what you would expect with a guy like Hook joining this roster. The guy, to me, is a cheat code. So we'll see if they can put it together across all three modes. They should be fine.
Have you seen anything from Envy post-Vegas that's made you feel better about the team?
I haven't seen nothing.
Okay.
I haven't seen anything.
So same squad
this
kind of
team has been on, a lot of people have been wondering where Apathy's been with his stream. He's been like, nope, I'm going dark. I had a very poor event at Vegas. I'm disappointed in myself and in my performance. So I'll see you guys at the Pro League qualifier. I haven't seen many teams, scrim them, or if they did scrim them, they weren't streamed.
Well, I guess then my question to you is, who is your favorite in this matchup? With the way G2's been playing.
I'd go G2.
Okay. I was kind of curious what you'd say to that. Because I think, there might be a lot of people that probably pick Envy for this, but I think on recent results, I think G2,
I like G2.
I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah, I definitely do. The last G2 lineup had Chino running a SOG or something. What? What are we doing here? That's not how this works.
Chino. Remember last year? Last year he was in between SDG, Val. He's or the bar. He's never had a time where he's.
That's fine, but it's an AR.
I know. But it just feels like, can this guy just stick with something and start rocking?
And now he is. You have Methods, that post-up Slayer, that AR Slayer. And listen, this is the thing. You have guys like Chino and Methods. You're like, oh, this team might be a little slow. But the other three guys, the pace that Decimate, Blastful, and Lacefield can play at will make it seem like these guys are playing at warp speed.
Well, I think this is an interesting one because I feel like in most of the match, I know we've had upsets, but at least going into it, I feel like there's been not a safe pick, but you felt comfortable about picking one team. I think with this matchup, I don't know. I think it can go either way.
Yeah, I think it absolutely can. Again, Envy, they're our world champs last year for a reason.
What Envy did we get?
That's just it, How good is Hook and Apathy going to play? It felt like Hook showed up, but Apathy didn't with that SOG duo. You heard Nameless talking about it. He thought this was the best SMG duo on paper coming into the game.
Maybe he'll have a rebound. So another guy that stood out that you expected to be really good, maybe with the SOG in Vegas and wasn't, was someone like Zuma. Zuma didn't have the event he wanted, but he kind of bounced back and looked strong. Apathy didn't have a great event.
Well,
now he's been putting in the time.
I think they switched mid-event where he picked up the Maddox and
it was right before the event. I think it was a week or two before the event. Because I remember Nameless on the desk said blame Silly, that Silly fired back. They were going back and forth about it. I remember there was a little bit of.
So I'm actually interested to see how that happens. And then you have those two slower players in Aches and Assault. I still wish that we saw Aches with a sub more often. I just think about when he was at his best in his career, it was with a submachine gun.
We've said that over 3.
I know.
Since AW, basically, that's been something that's said. But
So I still wish for it. Man can dream.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think that's the big thing. I mean, it still seems like when I would just hop into scrims, it feels like it's sometimes you have those games where it feels like it's Hook and everybody else. Like it's just Hook is dropping 9 to 10,000 damage, and it's not. That's just kind of his role to go out and fry. I get that, but I'll look at the scoreboard sometimes. I'm like, holy hell! Like, just can someone help him out a little bit? I know it's not as easy as that, but if they can pick it up a bit, and I think the first best of 5 we show may have been incorrect. This is the correct 5-game set for this. So we're gonna kick things off on Hacienda. At least for us two, this is the first Hacienda we're going to see, followed by Arsenal Search and Destroy, Gerdok Control. We've had a mix today. We've had a couple 3-0s with you and I. We've had a game 5. I think this one goes 4.
Thinking 4?
I'm thinking 4.
Who you got in 4?
God, you know, I think G2 because you said it.
Really?
You're smarter than I am. I usually lean with whatever you have to say, but yeah, no, I honestly, for me, it just goes with, like, you just have, like, you feel good about G2 coming into the event. They've been playing well recently. You feel good about them.
Yeah, I think that's it. Just a lot of positive momentum. Yes, it's just online, but we know it can pay off from time to time.
But will Envy come out? We haven't seen a lot of them. They've gone a little dark. Will they come out and look great? Maybe. But I just know, at least in the most recent Pro, I didn't watch the series, but I know they struggled. Like, they didn't perform well.
That's not good. But I believe we're going to actually take a look before this match starts. We're going to jump into Charlie. Mind Freak Nation of Power. This series tied at 1-1.
Yeah, so
some people might be a little surprised by, because, I mean, Mind Freak looked so good against EG.
There was the MLG tweet, obviously, where apparently I talked trash on Mind Freak where I didn't, but it was okay. It was fun.
I think you did.
Someone tweeted me and they said, well, they just got smoked by NOP. And at the time, I was like, by who? And I looked at it, I'm like, oh, Nation of Power. But, like, I didn't expect Mind Freak to come out and get blasted in Hardpoint. But to be fair, we did see them get beat 250 to 53 or whatever on frequency earlier in the day. But Mind Freak, they're able to clutch up here. Looks like a pretty balanced.
Look at that though. Like, when's the last time you would ever say like Shox has the least amount of damage on this team?
Never. I mean,
right?
If you go back to the Pro League, just it felt like if he didn't go off, like you're back to like IW or something. If he didn't go off, they were winning. Like that's what it felt like sometimes.
Yeah, so Mind Freak able to take that commanding lead 2-1 in that series. We're gonna take a look at Bravo as well as
Let's
the
get it,
match.
Joe. We're hopping all around.
We're just going wherever we want to go. And this is Midnight versus Accelerate. Midnight is the team that beat 100 Thieves 3-0, so I don't believe that scoreboard is updated.
There we go.
So it's 2-0 Accelerate. So who knows what's going to happen in this pool? Like, Accelerate is a team. You look at this one, Believe, Ruiz, Beezy, Profizi, Fastballer. You have, if you've watched the CWL broadcast before, you have seen these names. These
100%,
guys
100%.
are always on the cusp of making a Pro League.
So anyone could beat anyone this week is what we're learning.
Yep. Pool B is just crazy.
So far, it absolutely is, but we'll see what Jetly is able to do as he's working to capture the zone. One comes in, able to find an easy pick there with the SOG. Flies, I was going to say flies right out towards the mid-map. He gets a little bit confused in the stairwell and will end up dropping.
And right now, just taking a look, I heard about Midnight, and I was like, who is on this team? Envoy's been around a good amount. I've casted him in the 2K, Parzilian as well. Like, some of these guys you might recognize. I think probably the most popular one from previous UL seasons, probably Llama Yacht.
100%.
Always just comes out of nowhere.
I don't think I've casted Brack or Jelly personally. I've like heard of him, but I don't think I've ever casted over him.
Yep.
Yeah, Llama God definitely the more common name, certainly as he started to, I think, really make a name for himself. Well, kind of during the AW seasons, I remember really commentating him quite a bit. I think back, what was like him, Moach, and I'm trying to think of who the third was that was always playing with them. Wait, wasn't Silly?
Yeah, Silly.
Yeah. That's going way back.
But was the Llama Yacht on that team with like Havoc? That's when like Havoc became.
Yeah. We're digging into the
history.
I need someone to make me just like a comic book that I just carry around with me.
Maybe you should make one.
No. 80% accurate. Here's Maven's Guide to Call of Duty.
But Midnight, it looks like they're able to win that one, take a 2-1 lead. So, I mean, if Midnight can go 2-0 on the day, that is a wonderful start for them with a win over 100 Thieves.
That would be incredibly impressive. And yeah, you'd just be feeling set up for the whole week, right? Like, yeah, you're not safe, obviously, anything can happen, but 2-0 start, you're feeling pretty solid within your pool. And thanks for bearing with us, guys. We're waiting to get hopped into our main stage match here just in a moment as we hop through and wait for the guys to get ready.
He came over here and waved at us. So.
Oh, that's a good sign.
Yeah, I don't know if they're ready yet. Must be figuring out something.
Yeah, it might be a little bit of
issues
a
or
technical issue or pass through something at the other team and received a technical. But we'll see if Midnight can close it out here and start to fire back into this series. We'll watch Ruiz, who I believe at one point retired and came back to us.
Yeah, he had all those problems with E6, and then he was going, and now he's back, trying to get his way back to the Pro League, able to find a couple of kills as well as he's on Accelerate. He's having a pretty solid game at 20 and 19. Tag 5 boost is popped, and on the other side, well, you have Jet Li, who he just flies on in there like Jet Li and pops his grab slam and finds a third as well.
Nice play from him. We'll see if he can keep the streak going. As Midnight wants to close this out, just a 2-kill advantage at the time being. Looking for the 4th in a row is Jet Li. He's about to be swarmed. Profizi with a bit of a drop shot. Haven't seen too many of those. But he's able to find the kill. Tempest ready for Llamagon. Just holding it for now.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of this where he's rocking stock 2, where players now are like proning in certain positions. And because stock 2, you can basically move faster while prone. Yes. So
stock 2 is disgusting.
Yeah.
It's so good. We'll see if we see more of that through the course of the week.
That's your teammate.
Just a bit of mayhem inside, but Midnight will still enjoy the 3-kill advantage. Just trying to play a bit of defense with the time against him. Accelerate just has to get into this, otherwise game 3 will go in the books to Midnight. Envoy holding inside. You hear the grab slam come in, but I don't think it connects with anything. As Midnight's still able to hold on, at least for the time being. B looks to be taken. That'll tack on an extra minute to this if they can pick it up. I think it's just Barzillion waiting mid-map for maybe some help to come in. They want to make another play. One hits the flank, but he's not able to take the gunfight. 3 more going to push through. If they can get the clear, they'll take this game. Fastball is still here doing what he can, but that's going to be Barzillion with the Annihilator, able to shut it down, and with 5 seconds on the clock, they just have to try and fly in. Somebody's just got to go. Not going to get there in time.
Oh, he does.
Oh, my God, he does get in.
0.6 seconds left.
Imagine if somehow they're able to take this game, but it looks like the kill feed is all red. Might be one more remaining. There's the kill. There's the win, and Midnight going to stay alive in this series.
And it sounds like Alpha is getting started, so woohoo! Keep you updated on that one. But here we go, Envy versus G2 underway. Envy already with a solid start, 10 seconds on the board.
Hopping over to Hook, gets him behind, and there's the snap as he's able to pick up 2. Chino and Lacefield gonna drop to the Phenom. This guy has got a bright future ahead of him. I think Hook, you look as a young guy you're going to be talking about for a long time. I think Decimate falls right in there as well. It's just a young guy that has a really bright future. It's fun, man. You know, I've been casting this a long time. It's always, well, you've been playing, obviously, forever. It's cool to see the young guys that you know are going to be around for quite some time with the CWL.
I just hope, obviously, you know, there could be a lot of success for this Envy team. We know they can always turn it on, but I just... Obviously, Hook's year last year wasn't what anyone expected or what he wanted. They obviously had a solid finish at Champs, but I want this guy to start holding trophies.
I was talking to Slasher, like, if Slasher had built that Envy team
for this
game, oh my God, they'd be disgusting. Yeah. Like Slasher, Temp, Classic, Hook, and then a 5th, they'd be so good. But he built an advanced movement team for that game, which didn't have very advanced movement mechanics.
We're seeing Silly with the Maddox right now is a pretty solid hold, but Envy going to give the rest of that time up. Can we just check out on Apathy? I want to see if he is rocking a SOG. So yeah, so they went back to this. They're like, you know what? Let's keep Apathy and Hook as our SOG players. Apathy going to lose that one to Decimate as G2 able to take the lead. And really, we're fighting over this rotation towards this fence's side. You do have one player there. That's Decimate. Ace just making sure he holds the back. And Decimate just flies on in. Nice little shot punch now has the help of Lacefield. And like I said, those 3 between Decimate, Lacefield, and Blastful are going to play at a very fast pace.
We'll see if they can keep with that fast tempo. As Decimate just kind of hunting right now around fences, trying to find any kind of opening. I mean, oh God, I remember that. What was the video? It was from like Clayster's POV, when it was just everybody kind of hopping over the fence. Back here. It was so funny from like the sky cam. Assault makes able to find it. You see 2 ICRs at least in their hands at this time. with those long lines of sight down towards fences.
You actually see methods with the Maddox. So right now you have Chino rocking the ICR for G2, which I think makes complete sense. I mean, either or, however they're comfortable. Maybe that forces methods to play a little bit quicker. Rocking that Maddox allows him to move around the map, but I mean, Chino was such a good AR in World War II. Won back-to-back titles with that Team Caliber roster last year, and now I feel like he's in a comfortable spot at 12-10. But both of these teams just fighting back and forth. Hook just trying to fly on in with that grapple, trying to find any kills he can, able to find one, and still, both of these guys with those saws just fighting on in.
Yeah, you can see just the chaos of the speed these two teams are playing out right now. It's a 20-point advantage for Envy. Not a big foothold in this one yet. Nobody really going off outside of kind of, I'd say, Decimated. He's 14-8. Blast has got to pick it up. We talked about the fact that, you know, every now and then he takes over a game, but sometimes he can hurt you. Sitting at 6-12 right now, he's definitely need to turn it around a bit as G2 try to climb back into this. Nice shots at range from Hook there with the SOG, and that's he's going against like a Maddox or an ICR there. That's a big gunfight win. Now you see a little bit of the movement, and he's just soaring across, trying to get into bottom to make the play, but an unfortunate timing for him results in a kill for Blast.
Yeah, so G2 only down 30 seconds. Not a lot of time earned by either team in that first rotation. A lot of contest time.
Well, you can see
we don't say it a lot. Yeah, I was gonna say, watch that play clock. Already at 3 minutes. Methods now starting to work these top halls.
It's like we're casting Ardent Forest. Hard point.
Makes sense with these two teams.
Yeah, right. Decimate. You see, if you take a look at the cross,
Go ahead.
Across the top of your screen, you'll see a lot of these specialists available now for either side. As words were extremely difficult
sometimes
during that sequence. Yeah, it's our fourth match of the day. I'm running out of juice.
Silly with some nice shots there, and really what I consider the money hill on this one is this garage hill, just because there's so many power positions, you get pushed out so far, and if you get an AR on that Lambo, it is so difficult to really get him off that. But Lacefield now trying to work his way through this water. G2 now down 60 points. They need a break here. Is Envy in control of this one? He has that grab slam. You know he wants to pull the trigger on it.
Can he get an angle? He's just trying to heal. He's actually able to hip fire over the top and find a kill. He's got 8 HP right now, just waiting for his stim to come back. Now he goes in, tries to call it, but he's gonna get caught. Not able to connect as the Tempest comes into play. That's gonna be Assault setup in the back. He's able to knock one.
He has 2 chained down low as well. He's able to find Chino, who's down there. Blast is still in the water. Silly's able to find a couple of easy kills, and this is what I mean. It is so tough to break on through. Even gave his teammates some love, but now Envy in a very controlled lead.
It's like what could have been chaos became a lot more manageable for Envy because Assault hit a couple shots there. It's like he basically split the push in half, right? He had 2 players knocked either top or bottom. They made it so hard for them to get in, so instead of a G2 potential comeback, Envy now taking over the game as they've pushed past the 150 threshold, now on with Apathy as he's got the SOG Maddox combo, and look at make a play. He just obliterates Decimate as he gets the shots in from behind. 410 now off the Lightning as he is snapping. A big one-on-one fight there against Methods as Apathy heating up.
And that's just some of the things that man can do, right? Like, we know at times he's the best player.
Well, it's funny when you see him win fights like that, and then he was like 12 and 15 at the time, and where is that the rest? If he's shooting like that, he should be having a hell of a game. The snapper shows himself as Apathy makes those plays, but they still haven't put away G2 yet. Back and forth we go at fences as the grapple comes in, tries to give a little bit of a reinforcement here to Blast. Difficult gunfight over the top as he can't see much of Hook and Aches, but as Aches tries to lunge on in, he will get cut down. So we talked about G2 needing a healthy chunk of time. This is where it starts to come in at fences. But now we'll focus on our rotation outside as Chino's already here, not able to flick with the ICR as he gets cut down, and you see that kind of stock 2 on stock 2 battle there. Those are not easy gunfights.
Yeah, the only specialist available in the game right now is Chino with this Tempest, so this could be a big play if he's able to break this one. I mean, 50 seconds will make this game more manageable. Methods, Lacefield, able to find some kills. There goes Lace flying on in. Silly, though, able to find what he can, and now just like that, it's just Chino here, trying to do the best he can.
I think he hit one more.
He's able to find 2. He has 1 chained as well. What a play out of Chino, but he's trying to stay alive. He's not missing, but this should allow an opening for G2.
I think he did enough for them to get the setup. Now, can they hold it behind that play from Chino? As I say that, 3 are going to get dropped, but Envy picks up the kills. They fought right back into the hard point. It just can't happen that quick. Like a knife through butter, they just slice right on in, right after Chino makes the play. And that might be the game right there. I know they still got to put 50 points on the board, but you thought maybe G2 would get all that time and hold Envy at bay for at least a couple more hard points.
Yeah, just taking a quick glance at the scoreboard. I mean, Chino's having a great game, Decimate as well, but it's the other three, all of them around -8. You have Blastful -11. I mean, if 2 of your Maddoxes are around -10, that's just not good enough on a map like Hacienda.
Not good enough indeed, as the lead has just slowly continued to build for Envy. Hook just trying to be a nightmare here. Up in these hallways. Nice shots as he wins the one-on-one. Decimate had the strafe, he had the shakes, but Hook had the shot.
You can see what his goal is. Just control these top halls. As long as he's able to do that with this Zog and really just get in the face of the enemy, it allows his team to earn a lot of time, and every second counts now. His enemy just 35 seconds away. Hook, I don't even know how he hit that shot, but somehow finds a couple of bullets on the lace field. He runs out of ammo, and that's just unfortunate. We do not see that too often, but Hook having himself a game at 31 and 22.
30 more points still needed for him to get on the board. So far, Lambo control to G2, but there's 3 at the front. Now there's only 1 as he's able to connect with 2 with the grab slam. Silly is down in water. The contest does come in. G2 continues to fall, but they've done enough to hold here and at least contest. But if G2 is going to bring it back, the play clock is going to absolutely come into play. I mean, if they get it back close, you gotta think that clock is going to be dwindling. I don't know if they're going to get there. I mean, Envy might just close this out, but if you're playing against not only the scoreline of Envy, but also the play clock right now for your G2.
Yeah, and that was just way too easy of a break for Envy. But the one good thing for G2 right now, you did see the War Machine pop and the grab slam pop. Nice shots by Decimate. Again, a lot of chatter about this guy and how good he is at this title. Can't wait to watch him, hopefully all year long in that Pro League, but having himself a great game. And he's really developed as a player ever since his rookie year last year.
Can G2 survive another hard point? Only 8 more points needed for Envy. I mean, you have this War Machine, you gotta pull it out. You have to try and make the play. It's gonna be Tempest on the other side. What can Assault connect with? Decimate's already picked up 2 with the War Machine. He's somehow able to back down. He hasn't been hit by it, but that might chain into him. They're both gonna actually end up dropping. Wow. Lacefield's face is gonna get picked. That's gonna chain onto one more player on the steps. Is Assault picking them apart one by one? That might have been a team cluster coming in, trying to get it inside that back garage. But they still haven't been able to close it out yet. There's it seems to be one more guy here from G2, but finally the Annihilator comes out. Silly connects with 2, and Envy puts G2 away in map 1.
And that just felt so much like the old EG roster, the Envy roster now, just perfectly controlled by them, right? Like after the first rotation, there's 2 minutes burned off the clock. They have a 40-second lead.
It just never felt like G2 got that close, right? Like it just felt like a comfortable lead throughout. That's what you like to see from a team desperately trying to bounce back after a poor Vegas and show they still have what it takes to get in championship form.
And as we go into that game 2 search and destroy, I mean, this is probably one where maybe you favor G2 a little bit just due to the players, you know, on their team. But again, one of the ways EG won champs last year, this Envy roster was their perfect search.
Their search was odd last year.
Yeah.
I mean, they had that stretch. I might be wrong with the number 15, but there was a stretch during stage 2 where they lost so many searches in a row. It definitely hit double digits. I don't remember where it ended, but I think it approached like 15. And then they go on a run where they're basically not dropping.
Well, it was like Seattle. That's how they made their run.
Yeah.
Then I think everybody just picked up on their game, countered them perfectly throughout Pro League. They don't make playoffs. They learn from all those mistakes, and then just like that, they win champs.
You change your mind at all about the shape of this series after seeing Envy in that map 1?
I might, actually. I'm going to be honest. I just had to see more individually from G2. I mean, like we talked about, Blastful can be inconsistent at times. Can go -10.
Dude, just last year, I remember casting him, and like, there's an Arden Forest where he comes out, the guy has 30 kills, and everyone else in the game has 10. Like, he has those games where he just goes nuts, But then it never feels like he's a guy that's sitting around like a 1.0 KD. He's either crushing or getting crushed is what it seemed like.
And the other guy, you know, their new pickups in Lacefield and Methods had an off map. So maybe it was just a tough map for them. They could always bounce their way back, but.
What was it? Arsenal map 2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I love those backdrops. It's all the players.
Yep. It's got some goofy ones. We got some serious ones.
Crack me up, man. It's great. Shout out the Envy boys. Silly looks so happy, and Pat looks. I don't know what's wrong with Pat. Pat looks unhappy. Like something just
Assault
happened.
too. Who's got like that half smile?
Did they all move to? Because I live in Dallas, and I think most of them have moved out to Dallas at this point. I know Aches moved out there. I think Assault is in Dallas now.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. Is Silly still in Vegas? Maybe.
Yeah.
Hook hasn't moved yet, but I thought they were all going to like transition and sort of set up in that Dallas area, but I don't think all of them.
Maybe that's what happens when Pro League starts. Whatever. You know, they'll be together for a while anyway. So
I forgot that Aches is like my neighbor at this point. I think he lives like 5 minutes from me. We haven't even hung out. Nah,
we all play video games.
That's true. That's true. We text each other on occasion. But a shot there.
Just make that up?
Yeah, I did. We texted when he was moving there, and then I don't think we've texted since.
Okay.
I offered to help him move. I didn't, but he didn't ask me to.
I figured.